right. It's another Monday. Centre Circle podcast. Before we start, as always, please subscribe, follow, on whatever platform you are watching or listening to this on. So yeah, let's get into it. Who's here? I'm John.
Isaac.
T.
Mark.
Man like Keith.
And let's just get straight into it. I mean, there's so many fixtures. There were games every day.
Why are you bouncing, brother? Are you that happy?
Apart from Friday. Keith can't even contain his excitement. He's rubbing his knees. He's moving like a kid is about to see a new Marvel film and that.
To be fair,
let's go on.
There hasn't been much excitement in Liverpool season, so little run. I'm excited, man.
It's the Trent Alexander effect, isn't it?
Just the whole Liverpool effect, to be honest.
As opposed to doing what you were supposed to be doing.
All right, cool. Movement.
Anyway, let's start with the game of the week everyone's talking about. Man City, Arsenal.
I actually forgot about that game.
Convenient.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know how.
It's so long ago, bro. You know when you just channel your mind to just like, you know what?
It feels like the game finished 2 hours ago. That's how it feels. That's how.
I'm still hurt. Don't get twisted, but
vivid it is.
There's been so many games since then. I'm like,
yeah, I can't even remember.
I got the lottery numbers coming next week.
So look, I think from my point of view, this is one of those games where people will say, Arsenal didn't turn out. Right, let's scratch all of that, yeah?
We didn't turn up.
We didn't. But the execution of Man City's plan, the way they changed their formation, the way they wanted to progress the game, it was a masterclass. I'm not going to lie. It was a masterclass. If we had turned up, it would have been a little bit harder for them, yes. But as we've all been watching their games recently, and him switching to back three and John Stones in it, and then we go there and he says, no, Carl, you're going to start. We're going to go to back four. All the different bits. It was a masterclass.
Genuine question. If your team was on it, no injuries, Saliba's in the squad, do you really, really think you had enough to give them a proper challenge?
Could have.
I think the probability would have been higher.
You can only base it on. If you look at the last two games, because we played them 3 times, obviously this season, you can only base it on the FA Cup game where we had a weaker team than they did, and we played very well. The game at the Emirates, it wasn't cut and dry. I don't think they outplayed us. Even what's his name? Jack Grealish. He said we were a better team. We still lost. But I think that Man City, the way they're going right now, I don't think we could have. Whoever we would have played, we'd have lost.
I think it would have been different. I think the man of the loss would have been different. The performance.
I don't know.
Because to your point, when we talked about this a few episodes ago, and it started to manifest in that game, the tools Arteta has when he hasn't got his first 11, who can he swap people out with, etc. So you look at initial things. Yeah, Holding, Holding. He did okay. He did what he could. His limitations of his ability. That's why I think Saliba makes a difference. So, but I think they still win that game. I think they still boss it. But the players who are on the pitch make a difference to executing the manager's plan. But I think they still win. I think they still boss it.
I think it's similar to what I said when we played City last month. I think it was, or back into March. You played a City where everyone turned up.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened so many times this season for Man City, but when it has happened, they look really good.
It's devastating.
And on Wednesday, they look scarily good against you guys. Like, granted, you didn't have Saliba playing, etc. But the pockets they were getting into, like you say, Pep tweaked it for that game. And people say, Pep gets in his head a lot. Like, he got this execution right. And yeah, I think not many teams would have challenged Man City.
The form going into the game as well. The form going into the game, I just think, we all know what was going to happen, innit?
Yeah.
Man City was on fire. We wasn't.
And that's what I was saying last pod. Mentally, I didn't know there was enough time for them not to pick themselves off from those 3 games. But that's all experience, I think. And then I'll tell you, you have to be perfect against City or they don't turn up a bit. So I think in previous seasons, they've messed up a few accumulators and a few bets. They'll go to Southampton and draw or go there and lose 2-1 or whatever. But that's, yes, because the opposition team has been spot on and had an uncharacteristic, fantastic execution that day. And then a few Man City players have not turned up. Man City turned up, executed their plan, and then they did subs. It was just crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
I think City are in their stride. They're gonna canter now to the title. They're not even gonna steamroll. They're just literally just gonna.
I don't think so.
To the title, you don't think so?
I don't. But we're at this fixture, innit? But there was another fixture that they had this weekend.
Yeah.
And that showed some cracks.
I don't think so. I think that's the level of competition. I think it's a case of we've raised it for Arsenal. We've got Fulham next, who are, let's be honest, no disrespect to Fulham, but they're not Arsenal. So we don't have to give 100%. We can win this game at 60%.
But their 60% normally against those teams is we go 3-4 up, and then if they score a goal or have a couple chances against us, then it's so be it. But they was having some serious chances at 2-1.
Do you think
they scored against them as well? And at 2-1, they had some serious chances.
Do you think that's what a hangover?
Maybe.
And
they've got some serious fixtures coming up. Congested fixture schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that thinking they might slip up. There might be a draw in there. But saying that, Arsenal still got some serious games.
I think exactly. So there's 2 weeks. There's 2 separate weeks where City have got 3 games in 7 days, right? Which is the congestion you were talking about. Either side of, I think it's the Champions League fixture, one of the Champions League fixtures. I think, obviously, in one of those weeks, they can afford to drop points. But like you said, Arsenal have got serious fixtures. Even if they drop points, can Arsenal capitalise?
Yeah, Newcastle away.
Are they going to bounce back from four games where they've dropped points? 3 draws and a loss, right?
And a loss, yeah. So winning 4. Got to pay. And I think for me, with City, a lot of teams, when they get rotation right, it's midfielders, it's attackers. But where they've got it locked this season is a rotation in defence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because before, Nathan Ake coming to the team was a drop down. Do you understand what I mean? But now, actually, he's played a lot of the season. You've got, whenever he rotates the defence, the level doesn't seem to drop at the moment.
Yeah, even Akanji coming in at left back, I thought he had a really good game.
Akanji's come in, and to be fair, since he's come in, he's been a mainstay, really, largely.
Well, we're talking about players, defenders, centre backs. They got Stones, Diaz, Laporte, Akanji, Ake.
When was the last time Laporte played?
Like,
I don't know what's going on with his.
So when we look at us and Rob Holding has to come in.
Yeah. No, but what I mean is,
I look at the West Ham and the Southampton.
Yeah.
I don't really look at the everyone's going to be upset. Oh, we didn't turn up. Oh,
no, I agree. The damages were done.
Yeah.
The whole idea was that you're going to face the boss, innit? You're going to face the final boss.
Yeah.
Do your work before, so you've got buffer.
Yeah.
Buy some insurance.
Exactly.
And we didn't. We didn't tick the box at the end of the form. We didn't get, man got third party. We didn't get fully comprehensive. And it's now come back to bite us. But I do think that when we look back at the season, if they go all the way unbeaten, I think this might be the best. This might be the best club team since Pep's Barcelona.
If they win the treble, you mean, or just to win the league?
If they
have to win the Champions League.
If they win the Champions League in the Prem,
need to win the treble. I think they need to win the
way
treble.
they're playing.
I don't think the treble.
I think they need to
just the
win the
Champions League in the league.
Nah, they need the treble.
Treble counts.
Yeah, I think
be better than that Barcelona team.
Yeah, because Barca won. They won everything.
No, but they might not have achieved it. But just in their ball.
Everything.
So not better than them, best since them. I'm saying.
Okay.
Not better than them, the best club side since them. A good argument against that.
You got to win the treble then. I think you got to win the treble then
to be the best side since them.
Yeah,
the trophy's got
a treble. That Man United won, that's kind of held alongside Arsenal's invincible season. So I think they'd have to win the treble, because winning the treble is not easy, to be fair.
All right, let me ask a different question then. Since Pep's Barca team, who's the best club side since them? So we have to do it today.
I'd say for me, Real Madrid came. The Real Madrid 5 Champions League was after that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give it to them.
But they haven't done any trebles. But 5 Champions League
in a row is a nice. No one's even come close to that.
Inter won that treble with Mourinho.
No, why do you have to win a treble to be on par though? You don't have to necessarily win a treble.
That's what I'm saying. Like that.
I don't
the consistency of the back-to-back Champions League.
But to Mark's point, right? Why does it have to be a treble?
No, I agree. That's what
because it's. I think it's about dominance, right?
Yes.
Within a certain time frame. So that Pep's Barcelona, treble aside, they were just
the way they
devastating.
Did it, the way they did it,
right?
You know, the way they executed, the way they played, and we're talking about City now, not just about the wins.
Yeah,
we're talking about how they're doing it,
exactly.
How they're blowing away teams. So for me, if they win the Prem, and if they go unbeaten, they'll have broken their own Prem record. So number one, if they win the Champions League, they finally tick that box. And this is a club where, despite all the money they spend, etc., all the top coaches will tell you, winning Champions League is not easy. You can spend as much money as you want. The Galacticos team didn't win Champions League, right? The R9 didn't get the Champions League.
If Liverpool won the quadruple, you lot will be saying it's the best team.
I was about to add them to my list.
I think that team was top notch.
That team.
Last year or the one that finished?
I'd say not last year, the year before that.
2 seasons before that.
Yeah. We were dominant.
Yeah.
I think Klopp took us. We were just unfortunate to come up against City.
Arsenal fans are
but again,
now.
So then now, you're going to put them in there, but City were just about the better team.
So no, I was going to put both of them. I think I'm not going to pick one. I'm going to say like a few. So Real Madrid with the 5-5 Champions Leagues, that era of dominance. City and Liverpool going back to back, just like dueling it out. And who did I say? So Real Madrid. I said.
I think that's it, mate.
That's it. I was trying to throw Inter in there, but
no.
I just thought you meant like in a one season, like
because that part of the bus treble, it has some exciting games. But for me, I mean, when they beat Barca, just his celebration at the end.
The Champions League, the Champions League run was sick.
Yeah.
But
where is
no one
just disappeared.
Yeah, a great season.
So then now let's the other side of this debate is this now. It's gonna rumble on and there's football banner, etc. But if what we think is gonna happen and City are gonna take the title, have Arsenal bottled it?
Yes or no?
That's a good question.
Yes or no? The reason yes is because you don't go. It was 11 points clear at one point. You don't go 11 points clear and still get caught.
Other teams have.
Other teams have, but that doesn't mean.
Yeah, but we said they bottled it.
That doesn't mean they've been bottled too.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not even saying that. Yeah, I'm just saying other teams have though.
Yeah, but they're bottlers too.
I don't think Arsenal bottlers.
I think based on how far we were away from Man City and how bad they were playing at that point and how good we were playing, we have bottled it. But if you take into account where we were aiming, what we were aiming for at the beginning of the season, we've overachieved. So it's like a weird grey area. But the fact that we was 11 points clear, for me, that's bottling it. And if you look at the games that we've actually basically thrown it away in, Liverpool game, first 40 minutes, I want to say, dominant. We should have won that game.
Yeah.
The next 2 games, we should have won those easily. So,
and by the nature of what you're saying, you should have. It was in your hands and you didn't.
Yeah. So
that's my only thing with those games. Southampton, you made some mistakes and you had to come back. Cool. But Liverpool, West Ham, it was in your hands and you didn't.
I feel like just because it's at this point of the season, it's so much like the light is on you. But if this was at the start of the season or middle of the season, it wouldn't have been like so looked upon. Like at the start of the season, it was top 4. Just try and get top 4.
Yeah, but remember,
maintain Europa League. Can't get can't go backwards in that sense, but try and get into.
Remember,
top 4.
if we didn't get because that whole conversation, actually, me and you two about Arteta. Remember, if he doesn't get top 4, brother, I was FaceTiming the both of you last day of the season. We were gonna record that call.
Imagine
before
this. Imagine that. So imagine what he's saying. If we don't get top 4, he's going mad at Arteta. Yeah, so imagine how many Arsenal fans that was saying that.
Yeah, and
that was saying this is his last whatever. Now he's taken us to that touching distance to the Premier League, led for the whole till when? Just now, innit?
Of 247 games
gone ahead of us.
247 days or something like that versus 14 days.
4 games left.
Yeah.
4 games left.
So
that's where he's taken us. 34 games at the top.
1 second, keep go on, Isaac, because you see that
that's crazy.
Arsenal are bottlers.
I don't think they're bottlers.
No,
because
I don't.
you have to be absolutely perfect to deal with this Man City team, right? Arsenal were never gonna do that. They don't have the squad. Arteta's made some questionable decisions over the last few games. City have picked up and rolled on as they know. This is just normal. This is not City hawking a team down and saying, oh no, we've got to put the pressure on. This is just how City go about their titles. You have to be like Liverpool almost were. What was 1 draw that cost us?
Yeah.
We had to be that level to
every week.
every week.
It was cat and mouse.
Yeah. I don't think they bought. I don't think they could have done it.
The age of the squad.
Exactly.
But do you see that as an argument for both sides though?
Yeah, no, I agree with your point completely. I agree. It's a case of it can look like it's maybe a bottle job. I can understand why people may think that, but at the same time, they've massively overachieved. So you kind of can't really. If you're sitting on the fence, it's understandable. I just don't think they're bottlers.
Just very quickly, if it wasn't a case of the last 4 games happening how the last 4 games have happened, right? Like if it was spread out over the last, like say 8 games, I probably wouldn't say we bottled it. But literally for the last 4 games,
which is understandable,
we have been dire compared to how we've been for the whole season.
Like
compared to the standards we already set ourselves.
A proper capitulation. It looks bad, bro. It's like, where is that team from the whole from the beginning of the season till now? Where have they gone?
But then that calls squad depth into play, right?
But with
and we're nowhere near our last stage. We're still a good few
this is our 1.1, 1.2 probably.
And Martinelli, Saka, them growing. They're not even there yet.
I'm not saying we bottled it for the record. I'm not saying we bottled it. I just think we've definitely overachieved. But I think it's easy to see where people might think we bottled it.
Keith, go on.
So I'd just say it depends on if Man City do go and win it, how many points they win it by. So I think if it still goes down to the wire and say Arsenal lose the title by like 2 points, I don't think you can really say they bottle it because Man City have been in that position before, they know what they're doing, etc. I think if Arsenal go on a bit of a slump now and they don't pick up many points.
And the third place team is looking at us like, boy, your food.
Yeah, and then Man City potentially win it by like 8 or 9 points, then I could say you slyly bottled it because you've, like Mark said, you've done so well up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Granted, your squad is not in its final form, but you would have thought, considering how well you played up to that certain point, you could have pushed on and got the results in those games. And to be fair, Saliba played in a couple of those games, so you can't just say it's the holding effect. Because Saliba played in a couple of those games where you didn't capitalise.
No, but if you're going to talk about those games where Saliba played and we didn't capitalise, you could then look at VAR. We've been robbed in those games that you're talking about.
Yeah, but
everyone's been robbed.
No, everyone's been robbed, but you can't. I don't think Saliba's had maybe 1 or 2, but I don't think he's really had a bad game. You can't look at those games that Saliba's
No, but I think what gives you...
No, I'm saying he was there in those games where, so against Liverpool, he played, everyone's saying Holding's the drop-off. Saliba
Is he playing a Liverpool game?
Yeah, Saliba played in Liverpool, didn't he?
Liverpool Arsenal game recent.
Yeah.
We can check that.
He's been injured since.
No, I don't think he did.
No, he didn't.
I don't think he did.
But,
so it's not only just ages you're messing up, it's appearances now as well. Yeah. Cool. You are not Stato. That's for sure.
Saliba ain't played since Sporting Lisbon, bro.
So my and you lot are going to be tired. My thing is 2 things can be true, right? So I think we get to the end of the season, following on from your point, depending how bad the drop off is, because it's all about nuance, isn't it? Depending how bad the drop off is, I think you can both say. I think you can accurately say that we've had a fantastic season, overachieved, but we bottled it as well. I think it can be both because this is top level sport, right? So you set your own standard. So what was true at the beginning of the season, when you've now done what you've done, you can't have it both ways. You can't take the accolades, and then when you don't maintain that level, be like, oh well, we weren't supposed to be here anyway. Thanks, lads. Exactly. It doesn't work both ways for me. So, but obviously these days everything's black or white, innit? Like you get on Twitter, it's banner, blah blah blah. So I do think in the end, how we look at it is to say we played so well, we gave ourselves an opportunity and we didn't seize it, but the season is still fantastic. It's still an overachievement.
I think
it's still great.
Done fantastic.
Yeah, either way, we've done fantastic.
Even with the draws, even with the we're up against City.
No, I agree.
You can't. There's no other team that's gonna do what City's gonna do if they win every single game. No other team was gonna do.
No, I agree. But I guess the point is, it's almost like it's a good problem to have because even with City being fantastic, if you're done what we needed to do, that's why it would have been mad. If we're done what we needed to do, them doing City wouldn't have mattered because we had done what we needed to do earlier.
But doing what we needed to do is like what Isaac keeps saying, it's near enough perfection. That is what City do.
It's true.
They're the final form. Like they are, that's it.
And don't get me wrong, even if we had, let's say we had won the 2 games we should have won. You're 2-0 ahead and you're on top of the table. You expect to see that. Let's say we had won those 2 games, we got 6 more points. I'm not even saying it's a foregone and then you go and lose at City. That could have triggered a dip of form the other side. It could have. But my point is, going into that game, you didn't give yourself the mental buffer, the physical buffer. So yeah, interesting. I think I think to be seen, but I think if you're taking a real objective view, you can have a nice rounded view and say, these guys have done fantastic. They've set the bar now. So next season you go again, but you had it in your hands and you made it a little bit easier because City, they can afford to lose or draw. So
here's a quick point, right? So to your point about how we fare in the next couple of games here and how many points we finish behind City if we do finish behind them. If you look at the table right now, you've got Newcastle, who played exactly the same amount of games as us, 10 points behind us.
Yep.
Man United, if they win their game in hand, 9 points behind us. If we start or if we carry on how we've been playing, and let's assume, like, God forbid, we lose to Brighton, we lose to Newcastle. Bro,
Chelsea,
they're in touching distance.
And Chelsea.
It's looking a bit mad. So all these teams that we've been cussing, Man United in particular, that I've been cussing all season, that haven't been great. If they now finish 4 points behind us or something like that,
4 points behind.
how bad does that look on Arsenal?
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say Arsenal going to drop to 4th.
No. I'm not going to go that deep. That's mad. We've got 5 games left, but my point is they're 10 and 9 points pretty much behind us.
Going back to T's point, your marker for the start of the season.
Nah, forget the marker for the start of the season.
No, but you can't.
We were 11 points clear of second place.
I know that, but you can't say we've had a bad season because we finished 4 points ahead of.
No, it will look worse. The season will look much worse if they finish anywhere near us.
Yeah, so I think there's a difference between saying you had a bad season and saying you dropped off really badly. That's two different things.
But this is just optics, bro. Like you're gonna say it just looks like because they're gonna close the gap because the points look like they was in touch and do. I don't care. We've played better. We've played the best. Bro. We've been the best team this season. Apart from City now doing a madness, we have been the best team this season.
So you don't care as long as we finish second?
So what I think is going to happen for next season is that we're going to maintain that.
Yeah.
You think you've been the best team or the most consistent?
Definitely most consistent. I think we've... I think we've been the best team. There's only been a couple games before that slump when we played you and then the slump after. I think there's only been a couple games where we did not play.
If I said to you, Man United are going to finish 4 or 5 points behind us, let's say 5, 6, 7 games ago, what would you have said?
I wouldn't have believed you, but it's only just going to be banter. What a United fan telling me, look, we're closer to you now.
I agree with you about the points difference. But specific question to you, so with that said, you said, look, from the beginning of the season, top 4, let's take, basically what you're saying is, let's take the good from the season. Like, everything else is kind of just conjecture. But if I said to you now, what do you care more about? The position or the points? Because I agree with you. I don't care about the points, but I care if we don't finish second. I care about that.
No, I want to finish highest possible, innit? I want to finish. I want to finish top.
Yeah, cool.
If I want to finish as close to City as possible.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Moving on from that traumatic experience. Daz, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm good.
Decided to join us today, yeah?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back.
How was the game? Because you just come from the Champions League semi-final.
Yeah, Women's Champions League semi-final. Good game.
Yeah.
3-2 after extra time. Arsenal played well. Yeah. Got a few injuries. Then towards the end, they were slacking a bit. And last minute, she tried to play it out. Got caught on the ball.
Oh, no.
Through 1-on-1. Wolfsburg. So yeah, lost it in the last minute of extra time.
Yeah, Emirates was a sellout as well.
Yeah, sellout. First time ever. 60,000 people there. Never seen it like that at all. Loud.
What was the atmosphere like? The feel? Did it feel like a typical Arsenal game?
No, it felt
like
completely
Arsenal
different.
Men's game.
No, it felt completely different to a men's game. I think it's because of the demographic. So when Arsenal scored, it was louder than when the men scored. But I think there's a lot of female and a lot of kids as well.
Okay.
So obviously they got the high pitched voices and they're excited and everything.
But they're just excited with Emirates.
Yeah. So when the goal went in, I was like, raw. Like this is different sort of thing. So yeah.
Well, at least one of our teams is in the Champions League, isn't it?
We're in the Champions League.
Yeah,
we are now next season, but I can enjoy it now. All right, cool. So I've been moving on. After talking about Arsenal getting bad, gonna move on to our neighbours. So what's going on at Spurs? Lads, talk to me.
It's the same thing every week.
Before we get into it, let me just, in this busy week, let me talk through their results. So they somehow got a 2-2 result with Man United, which is another reason why I think Man United won't catch us to 2 inconsistent. And then they lost 4-3 to Liverpool. yesterday. I mean,
that was a similar sort of performance though to the Man United game, right? Because they clawed it back.
Yeah.
And then they obviously lost at the end.
I'm going to slightly disagree. Sorry.
Wait. But let's start with the earlier game. Let's start with the Manchester United game. I mean, that club is in free fall. I want to say they're in absolute free fall. I mean, off the pitch, it's crazy, and then on the pitch, as bad as we want to say their players are, the performances just aren't there. They're having to claw back results on a weekly basis. What do you think, Isaac? What's going on down there?
I mean,
the performances
before we get into the game, I think outside of the game itself, there is obviously a lot going on behind the scenes, which is obviously now falling onto the pitch. It obviously started way before Kanté left.
Yeah.
I'd even go further as to say it started before Kanté came in.
With Pochettino.
Yeah, and I think he's just come in and vocalized it and said, listen, this needs to be sorted out. They've obviously don't like that. Well, Daniel leaving the board don't like that. They've got him out.
And it sounds easy to say, but a lot of what Kanté said,
it's happening, and I feel like Levy needs to get on the phone publicly and apologize to Kanté because it's not happening. But I mean, he's week in, week out with these results, he's being proven right.
Yeah,
and nothing's happening. No, they're bringing in manager after manager, and it's just getting worse. At one point, we all thought it was going to be Newcastle all over again.
Yeah.
You know, but the last 2 weeks they've managed to kind of pull it out the bag, and I think that's not necessarily down to the manager. I think that's just self-pride.
Yeah.
A lot of them man have gone, whoa, we're not doing this again,
and
tried to claw back a result, and then we've hit them with the final nail in the coffin. But
I don't think these results, I don't think they take Kanté off the hook. I think he's left them in a position where it's a mess. And he's not. He basically was part of that as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think them
but he
doing
didn't
this
choose
now.
to leave. Let's be clear. He didn't choose to leave. They asked him to leave because he said what he wanted to say.
What he said.
Yeah.
Basically, that's kind of asking to leave.
Not from where he's from.
Really.
Remember, it's normal for them. If you look at Conte's career, every club he's been at, and in Italy as well, this is normal for managers. In Italy, you watch a run of press conferences, bro. It's very interesting. So I think it's not like he resigned or mutual consent like other people.
And to be fair, in my opinion, he was on target. They were comfortably in a Champions League space when he was there. And like we said like the last pod, the one before, Tottenham were not expected to challenge for a title as of yet. Kanté was on job to get them in the top four. Granted, the style of football they were playing, people like, oh, it's boring, tear. But if you get to the Champions League qualification out of it, I don't see what the issue is.
His objectives have been met.
Yeah.
And let's look at his gripes, right? He had issues with the players and their desire, and then also the board and support.
Yep.
Right? If the players aren't pulling their weight, what do top managers do? Get them out. Get that, for want of a better word, get that cancer or that plague out of the team. We don't want them bringing down the morale. Let's bring someone else in. But if I'm identifying 3 players or 2 players saying they're not good enough or they're not doing what I need them to do, and the board's not saying, all right, here's the funds, or all right, we'll try and find a replacement. What do you expect me to do with the
and we said on the previous podcast, Kanté is generally a player that works. As long as you show a certain level of application, he will work with what he's got there. You know, he's won the league with players that on paper you would argue are a lot less talented than some of the players he's got now.
Yeah.
But even if you think about the games, you know, that Man United performance, Man United again, you know, they were 2-0 up at one point.
Yeah, I think United took their foot off the gas rather than in that particular game, rather than Tottenham kind of getting their way.
So they scraped that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's why, from my observation of the game last week, and just going on to yesterday's game, I think Liverpool were pretty lucky yesterday. I know we blitzed them in the first 20 minutes, 3-0 up.
Yeah.
But I'd say from like 25 minutes onwards, Tottenham were the better team for the rest of the game.
Really?
Liverpool only had 4 shots yesterday on target, and they were the ones they scored with.
Did you both watch the game?
We didn't.
Of course.
It's interesting to hear 2 different opinions.
We didn't create much after we scored the 3rd goal. They hit the post twice. They tested Alisson a lot more than what we tested their keeper. I think if they get their third goal sooner than what they did, they win the game.
Definitely had loads of chances. They did have loads of chances.
Yeah, I think Tottenham were the better team yesterday. Bar the first 20 minutes.
Fair enough. I don't think so. I think it's a case of taking your foot off the gas as well, but not to the point where they were like running. You could turn around and say, "Oh, Tottenham were the better team and deserved." And do you know what I mean? Deserved the point at the very least, because I don't think they would have won it, but deserved the point. I don't think so.
I disagree.
I
think we took the foot off the gas, and Tottenham kind of dictated the way the game was playing. And I mentioned a couple times before about the in-game management of Klopp. Like, it's all well and good. He kind of found a new system that we're playing. And it seems to work. Like, say, the first 20 minutes, we were excellent. Like, blitzed them. Trent doing his thing. And, like, everyone just kind of seemed on job. But you could start to see the game was running away from us. And I just think the subs that he made weren't particularly great. Obviously, the personnel coming in.
What are your thoughts on Harvey Elliott as a centre mid?
I think he can do the role, but I think there's a bit too much expectations on him at the minute. But that comes with playing for Liverpool, regardless of how old you are.
What are your thoughts?
I don't think he's not a central midfielder.
I don't think he's good enough. I've said that.
I think he's good enough. I don't think he's got the physical presence to play in the central.
So where do you think he should play?
On the wing.
On the wing?
Yeah.
In the front three?
What, inside forward kind of vibe?
No, it's Salah's position, but Salah's not going to get moved.
Yeah, but will he
he has to play in central midfield. That's the next best.
Where did he play on the come
That's
up?
why if you look at when he plays right-sided centre mid.
Yeah,
right?
he does.
So what he does is, if with Trent now not bombing forward, Harvey Elliott can now do that additional kind of overlapping on Salah, or the kind of interlink with Salah, right? Yeah. So if Salah drops inside, you'll see Harvey Elliott might try and push out if he can, or if he's not occupied centrally. I just don't think, number one, I don't think he's got the physical presence to play right-sided centre mid. If once it's time to get stuck in, I don't think he's got enough to do it. I just think he's a better talent if we pushed him out wide, but that's not going to happen because Salah's out there.
What do you think about? What about the midfield as it is now? So if you had we've bantered and everyone's talked about Liverpool's midfield and the choices they've got there. If you had a stronger midfield, or you've got a Fabinho at the peak of his powers, etc., does that take the pressure off Elliott a little bit? Does that allow him to? Because to your point, I think the midfield is not functioning as expected.
As we want it to.
Right? Trying to make it work.
So if we have the legs that we needed, so if Henderson had legs, or if we still had Wijnaldum, Harvey Elliott doesn't see the central midfield.
No.
Right?
Okay.
And the reason why Fabinho looks leggy is because he's having to do two jobs. Right? If you watch the games, when we had legs, so either Wijnaldum or Henderson, Fabinho could just do his sweeping. He could just, cut out the passes, clean up, but move the ball on. Now we don't have that. Henderson's regressing. We don't have Wijnaldum. We don't have another central midfielder. Okay, Kate is just a waste of space. Yeah. Thiago's not.
What about Arthur?
I forgot about it.
His career, what was it? The article, his career lasted 13 minutes.
Yeah.
What's going on with Carvalho? He doesn't seem to want to
use
him.
This is it.
He's on the bench.
But I think with Elliott and Carvalho, I don't think you have a natural position for them in your formation. Because your midfield, you play as a 4-3-3. So I think they're more like attacking 8s, almost like 10s, and Liverpool don't play like that.
100%.
So I think that's why they're a bit lost. They're a bit lost in the formation.
100%. Because, all right, so they've found a second position for him, which is central mid, which is kind of just like a plaster over the problem.
Exactly.
But Carvalho, they don't have a position.
It's not their natural position.
Exactly.
And even the two of them, when they play together, you can see a little connection there. They like to do that interchange. But if you haven't got a protection behind him, it doesn't accommodate.
Yeah.
So Fabinho, if you actually deep it, where Fabinho looks a bit lost or leggy is because he's having to cover the running from the other central midfielder, and then he's also having to do his defensive midfielder. And it looks like he just doesn't have the legs for it. But you put someone in there that can move, and then Fabinho looks decent again. Yeah,
like we've all discussed, like in the group, etc. Our midfield is the key area that needs to be addressed, and I think if we go out and get two capable first team ready central midfielders, I think our problems are not they don't magically disappear overnight, but it puts us back into a challenging position.
Can we talk about the defence?
No.
Because I'm hearing midfield from all Liverpool fans. It's midfield. But the defence, what's going on there?
It's mad.
Shocking.
What's going on? Super Van?
Wow.
Super VVD?
He slipped.
You know when I knew it wasn't the same? I can't remember what game, very, very early on in the season. And Zaha was approaching him and he was just backing up. And then Zaha just started it. And I was like, who are you? You're not Van Dijk. You're not engaged. Like,
but the thing is, he hasn't changed.
really
He hasn't changed his style of defending. He just lost that yard of being able to dictate where he wants the attacker to go. So before, there's loads of times where he'd face someone one-on-one and he'd be like, right, well, I know your strongest foot is your right foot. I'm going to put you onto your left foot, etc. He just seemed to have lost the ability to do that no matter who
Is
comes up
it safe
against
to
him.
say Pickford stole his powers?
Right.
Yeah, because that's when it.
That's a big injury, man. It was out for a long time. It's a big injury at the wrong end of his career, I would argue as well.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, the reason why Van Dijk gets kind of the pelters now is because the level he was at before that injury,
and the way he's worshipped. Yes.
well, no, not even the way he's worshipped. Like he was generally known
Not
as
by
like,
Liverpool fans, though.
as
Not
a
by
good
Liverpool fans.
defender.
No,
But
Independently,
like,
I'm talking
now
about.
he's not doing anything that hasn't happened to like a Premiership defender in the past. It's because he was so good before. You expect that level consistently when it's not really going to happen now.
To your point, right? Whereas before the injury, he was looking a certain way, and then after he's looked this version, this shell of what he used to be. Is it a case of his performances have just mirrored Liverpool as a whole? Whereas before the injury, we were this dominant force.
But he's part of the dominance, though.
Hold on. We were this gegenpress, super high, press high, win the ball back. He never really has to defend.
No, because he showed glimpses.
Do you understand?
Last season
So
as well
in the
drop-off.
one-off moments of where he's had to defend, he's not really had to do much. He just steps across.
I think he
bully a
showed
man off the
glimpses
ball.
of the drop-off last season as well. But because we were so good, it was masked, didn't it? Like you can hide in a good team, but those instances happened where you're like, rah.
Sorry,
that happened to Virgil.
But do you think it was hiding? Because my thing is, it's a cumulative thing, right? So part of the reason you guys were that team, Virgil's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons there is a drop-off, to Daz's point, is because he's not at the level.
Okay.
And then is there a separate argument to say, well, that happens in teams. Where is the strategy around him? Like, he's not the only centre-back you have. So Matip, Kanté,
But the whole team is dropped
I think
off.
that's the change. I think before Van Dijk was playing in defence, it didn't matter who was next to him. Because Van Dijk was there, he could coach them through that game. And he's doing both jobs, But now, Van Dijk's level's gone to a level now where he can't coach the person next to him through. He needs them to be just as good as him.
Yeah.
And they're not.
And it's crazy.
And it's sort of like...
I'm seeing this Trent narrative. I'm seeing videos and I'm like, wait, no one's talking about what Van Dijk isn't doing in this clip.
Yeah.
And it's just
And
crazy.
to be fair, we don't really know what he's got going on mentally.
Yeah, I agree.
I was saying before the World Cup where he looked tentative in like, his challenges and stuff, I was like, he protected himself for the World Cup. Like, we don't know what his state of mind is coming back from the injury. Like John said, it's a really serious injury. We don't know how long he wants to play for. He could just be like protecting himself, innit? I'm not saying it to kind of give him an excuse, but
so bringing it up.
I was just going to say, go on.
No, I was going to say, bringing it up now. So, despite all of Tottenham's woes, they're sixth. Right? They're sixth. That game was, I want to say, important because you guys basically swapped places, right? So, Liverpool are now fifth.
I think it was the 5th place playoff they were building it as.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Welcome back. That's
5th place. Spicy.
But you got a game in hand on Spurs, so really, I think you're out of the woods. You're 2 points ahead of them. Problem is now, I was going to try and have a top 4 conversation, but Man United have got a game in hand on you, and they're 7 points ahead.
Top 4's gone.
Yeah, man.
Like, if we're being real, and I've always said that.
Is it gone?
No, it is.
7 points and they got a game in hand.
If we get top 4, then
Liverpool got 5
Man
games.
United have got a series you've got to look at themselves.
Yeah. So they got 15 available points, and Man United have got 18 available points.
And where's Brighton? And where's Brighton in relation to that?
Brighton at 8th, and they got 52 points.
But how many
They
games
got-
they
they
played? They
got
got a couple games in
two
hand.
games
didn't
in
they?
They
hand.
got 2 games in hand.
If they win them, do they go above Liverpool? If they win?
There's only 4 points behind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
what
it's
I
about
thought.
points and mix. We'll come to Brighton.
Thanks.
Yeah,
No, I'm just saying.
You said Man United's got
But-
18 available points.
Terrell
and-
said that
Yeah, they got
you're going to
16
beat
left.
them, so it doesn't matter, does it?
We're gonna beat who? Brighton.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Wow. Where's the confidence?
I think their game in hand is us and Man City. To be fair,
Brighton, please.
Just before we get off of the Tottenham Liverpool, have you noticed in all the fixtures that Tottenham, their most recent fixtures, Harry Kane scored in every single one of them? Well, pretty much almost.
Bro,
Pointless
what-
goals.
No, he's top quality.
Pointless
Yeah,
goals.
No,
Well,
they're not. They're not.
What did I say before? I said Harry Kane will score, but you just don't know what Tottenham performance you're going to get.
Yeah,
but
they're not
he will
scoring.
guarantee himself a goal. We might have to talk about Harry Kane and
Wait.
step out of studio, though.
No, listen,
No,
what's
no,
that,
no.
25 goals
We
for
might
the
have to
season?
do it.
Nah, man.
Bruv,
25 goals? Nah,
25 pointless goals.
right. So we're going to get to the end of the season.
We're going to have that chat.
Let's just say he finishes on 29 goals for the season. What have they amounted to?
It's not
Nothing.
fun. You could say he's
It's
done his
been a
job.
shocking
he's done-
season
he's
for
done-
Tottenham.
we've done
He's done his job. We're not doing this.
It's
I
been
know
a
we've done it.
shocking
I just
season.
wanted
Do you think
to-
he's enjoyed
my
this
final
season?
question- my
Doesn't
final
matter whether he's
question-
enjoying it.
No,
He's
it
done his
does
job.
matter.
One voice.
Of course it matters. Has he enjoyed
It
this
doesn't
season?
matter. He's done his job.
No.
He's doing- if
Has
gets-
he enjoyed this
He
season?
probably hasn't, but he's done his
Well
job.
then. What do
does
you
that
mean
mean?
it don't matter?
So,
It does
by
matter.
not enjoying the season, does that mean you haven't done your job?
Yeah, and also the thing
Still
is,
need to enjoy
he
yourself.
can do his job.
He's done his
Yeah,
job,
it's
man.
a tricky one still.
He's done his job, bro.
Listen,
It's not
I
true.
don't
He's
wanna-
done his job.
It being his fault is a different matter. So you can do your job. You've scored 30 goals. Them me saying those goals are pointless is not a slight on you. It's an observation
Exactly.
of the entire
Nah,
situation.
it's a slight-
But they're not
he's
pointless though,
it's a slight.
because if that take them 30 goals away, where will Tottenham be?
Exactly.
So they're not
And
pointless.
well,
If they qualify for Europe, those 30 goals have got them that European place. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in Europe.
And
They would be.
he's still putting himself in the shop window in case someone wants
Yeah,
to buy
they're
it.
not
Yeah,
pointless.
exactly.
Listen,
They're not pointless.
He's
Yeah,
had a
it's not
fantastic
pointless.
season.
He's scoring goals so the
Listen.
Glazers come and pick up the phone.
Listen, let's not get
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like he said, we've done that. But
Any-
I just wanna
any-
make one final
Any other
statement.
striker just moves, innit? 30 goals,
Well,
they
you
move,
know,
innit?
never
They
know.
move on
If he's there September 1st,
to
I'll be
enjoy their
surprised.
football.
If he's there September 1st, his lack
can't-
of
Yeah, I
ambition.
can't defend him.
No,
in terms
but
of ambition.
lack
I think
of
that's what you
ambition.
can say.
He can't get out. He can't get out. Levy
No, he
ain't
said
letting him
Death
out.
row.
his contract
Death
runs
row.
out next
Contract.
year.
He's got one more year. So apparently they're gonna.
You think Levy will let Kane leave for free?
Well, Levy's apparently that's what he's looking doing.
Nah, that
No,
guy.
we'll
I
see.
can't see it.
Needs another
Daniel
go-kart
Levy.
track, innit?
Nah, you can say
Let him
whatever
leave
you want to
for
say
free
about that
and
gentleman.
And they're planning a statue outside
Listen,
the stadium.
listen.
No
Crazy.
way, bro.
Well, you can say whatever you want to say about Daniel Levy, but you see when it comes to business, he doesn't lack in it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I hope he does go. To be fair, I hope he does.
yeah,
'Cause he deserves it.
because it will
He
either prove everything everyone's been saying for time, or actually be like, ooh, maybe you are today's Letitia. Like you should have just stayed there.
Yeah.
Like, you should have just stayed there.
They might question his mentality, but performance-wise, he's top notch, man.
Yeah, I agree.
He does his job. That's it.
All right, cool. So then again, looking across the week, Palace. I don't want to say like I'm happy about it. Finally lost, right? At the top of the week. Then they
Okay.
then they rip raw, come back, win a game 4-3. I mean, sorry, Pat, man. Like, but that's looking like a masterstroke. I'm
It
not
is.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
So is Roy's return and the players' revival? That was poetic, right?
Yeah, it was.
I had to pause and enjoy that. Is that an indictment on the players or the manager?
Both.
Yeah.
It is both, yeah.
Both.
It is both.
Well,
Why
actually,
did
no,
you say
sorry.
both?
Manager.
Why did you say
Why?
both?
Manager. Because it's partly his job to build an environment that makes him, whether we like it or whether it's right, it's partly his job to build an environment that makes them want to work. Well, build an environment, create a system that works with the tools you've got. We've had this debate as football fans the whole time. You're not at City. You're not going to get funds to sculpt the team as you like, right? So it is partly his job to get what he can out of his players. And he signed a few. I use the word few specifically. He's got to create an environment that they want to work in. Do you understand what I mean? And he's supposed to get the best out of his players.
You said partly.
Hmm?
So it's partly his job and it's also partly the player. So it's both.
No, as in that's one of the parts of his job.
No,
to
you,
make
you
it,
can't
you know.
put it on Pat, man.
But
Just-
the same set of players have now turned it around remarkably. Like statistically, this turnaround is phenomenal.
But what about the fixture list? Because if I look at
Exactly,
it, have
exactly.
Palace beaten anyone above them? I don't think they have in this run. I think all the teams have beaten all been below them, and they were below them when Patrick was
they might have
manager.
beaten someone slightly above them, but
Who have they beaten
I
above
don't
them?
remember. But it's
Yeah, but let's be honest.
But
yeah?
wait, so what? Didn't Vieira face all these same teams?
That's what I'm saying. This is not the first time.
Yeah, and that's why he got above them. He was above them when he got sacked.
But
his last 10 games,
what he done was
got him the sack.
So what was those 10 games?
The hard games. You have to check the.
Yeah, but okay. But the thing is, if again, I've said this before. If you're Steve Parish, yeah, what do? You just keep like.
No, you know what? I
agree with this.
I agree. Yeah, I don't agree with this. I was going to say I don't agree with it, but I understand why he did it.
And
I'm
this
not
isn't the first time his job was in threat, by the way.
Yeah,
that's not the first time his job was at threat. That's not the first time he was on the brink, as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with why. I can see why he did it.
Yeah, that's what
and he didn't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
So he's gone to Roy, which is less of a risk because he's been there, he's done it, and they've reaped the rewards.
I actually think Roy was a mad risk. I don't actually think it was less of a risk. I think that was. I can't imagine the conversations at the board.
You think so? Even that's what them
there's a risk,
bro.
Yeah.
He left Palace.
You know what you're getting with Roy. You know what he gives you. What's on the tin.
He got Watford relegated.
Exactly. And when you say you know what you're getting, his last tenure wasn't great. They were actually
attacking. They weren't doing all of this.
When he left. But they weren't getting relegated. They were playing rubbish football and that, but they were still in the league every year.
Yeah, but he had time out, went to Watford, got Watford relegated, and then didn't manage for.
And also, bro, you brought Vieira in. It's this new dawn. We're gonna play this kind of football. We're buying all these kind of players. You fire him. I remember the context of the game today. That you turn around to bring back Roy. No, I rate that the steal.
I don't think they
do that. Even convincing the people within the club.
I don't think Parish thought, you know what, we're taking a risk. I think he just thought, you know what, we've lost all these games. Like, it's close to the end of the season. We might go down. We just need to change something. Something just needs to change. The environment just needs to change.
Someone familiar with.
Yeah, so it's not a case of, let's bring him in because he's going to do wonders. Just change the environment.
Then to your point, for me, that's an indictment of management.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not.
Roy's come in and revitalized it, made them feel like they can play in a certain way. And it's slightly reductive, but that says he's doing something Pat didn't do.
Players get off.
And it's not. No. Mark.
Players get off so much. It's unreal, bro.
That's
one man versus a 25 or 6 man squad.
But this is.
But you gotta get those.
Yeah, I get that, but you're talking about big men as well, you know.
Okay, so in Tottenham's case, Kanté leaves.
Yeah.
Stellini is there. Okay, he's not great, but they don't perk up. He then leaves. Ryan Mason comes in. It's the same fortune. So then,
but none of them are managers though.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
And also, you can't fire 10 players. You can't fire 10 players.
As a player,
I'm not saying you fire them, but you can't give the blame solely to the manager. You have to blame some of the players.
But if the manager, if Pat didn't lose all those games and was doing well and Palace was sixth, he'd be getting a lot of the praise.
I get that, but at the same time, you can't just. It's not like he would just be getting all the praise. It is, but he won't just be getting all the praise. So the players are doing well.
It's his fault. But the specific question I was asked is, with the same players, Roy hasn't made no sidings. He's not out the window. So to turn around that level of form, and then even if you just watch the games, the type of performance in the space of 6 weeks,
it's a different environment. Man. It's just a change.
But the thing is, they're actually performing like a Patrick Vieira team more than a Roy Hodgson team. That's all. The DNA is more like a Patrick Vieira team.
And again, Pat, I love you. Like, come on, but what's a Pat V team? What do they play like? I didn't watch Nice. I think you play like
his first season where they were more open than Roy's last tenure. You can't, like I said, you can kind of see the style of play you.
Okay, fine.
I think Roy was even surprised. The first couple of games, he was like, "Oh, I've never seen them play like this sort of thing." Yeah, so it's like,
okay, just quickly because you came back with a good retort. They're not managers. Frank Lampard is.
Is he?
Well, we'll get to Chelsea.
No, he's not. He's
but is he?
He's interim. He's not the manager.
But he's
managing my trade.
You know Roy. Is Roy is permanent? Is he permanent?
No,
just end of the season. He just ends the season as well. Do we think he'll stay on?
No.
Nah. I don't think he wanted to.
Oh, sorry. You know what?
I'd be surprised
to say that. If he keeps doing this, he might be like...
They might have to keep him on.
Fan power.
What other managers are there as well?
Give him a season,
I can't think of anyone else who would.
That's what I'm saying. Who else is there to
but
bring
it depends
in?
when they finish. Because look, right now, he's 11th. He's above Chelsea. But Chelsea have got 2 games in hand. Fulham are 5 points ahead of them. Or a game with some moving and shaking, he might end up 10th. And at that point, it's an attractive proposition because if you're outside in, again, it's kind of what we talked about with Chelsea. If you're outside in, you've seen the Jekyll and the Hyde of that team. So it could be attractive to be the guy that comes in and maybe does a Crystal Palace version of what Potter did at Brighton, right? Because you see the players that are there, you'll come in and say, right, maybe I want X and I want Y. So I still think it's an attractive job to a decent manager. You know, if you say who's out there, I mean, they're probably not going to go to the Dutch league again after last time. But you look at people like, I don't know, there's managers in leagues who are winning leagues and doing stuff that you would take a certain punt on because of the football they're playing.
But will they want to go that route again after the Vieira?
No disrespect to Roy, but they're not going to have any choice. At some point, they're going to have to. He said it in the interview on the weekend. He's like, to be honest, I'm enjoying it, but I can't do this forever. Like, you know, the clock is ticking. He said it himself. So yeah.
So, in the opposite side of that, West Ham. Opposite side of that coin, because Palace has obviously gone there and beaten West Ham. It's mad.
I thought they were on a little revival, you know.
Palace beat, what was it? Palace beat West Ham with no Saliba. Crazy.
You got to love the internet still. I mean, is this another situation where, as the owner, Moyes' record and his relationship with owners has kept him in a job. They've stuck with him. They're not gonna get relegated. John's famous last words. But
they won't.
I mean, they've got a game in hand on Leicester and they're 4 points ahead. 5 games to go. I think they're 1 win away. You know, they're 2 or 3 points away from being okay, being safe. And then he goes again. He got the rewards of guiding West Ham to where they did. He got to spend players. He brought in more technical, expansive players. Apparently, you know, Paquetá and all of these people. It hasn't gone well. But is this the flip side to staying with your guy? He's got experience. I think his CV, well, I don't know the
got a bit of credit in the bank.
Yeah, he's got credit in the bank. He got your club to a certain point last season. You've let him spend all this money. Let him fix it. I do think if they were more perilous, they would have let him go.
And you've got to remember they've got an excellent European run as well. Still in the semi-final of the UEFA Conference League. So I think that's really helped him as well.
Yeah. And I think if they win that, it's a slightly different tint on the season. And just from the way David Moyes talks, I think he's going to slightly reevaluate. I think we're going to see, and hopefully he'll lose Declan Rice in the summer because he's coming to Arsenal. But I think he's going to go a little bit back to more aggression, having hardworking players and sprinkling more of that technical side rather than the kind of 50-50 try to do this year.
To be fair, he's never really been a big signing manager where you can see like this. He went out on the Italian striker, can't remember his name.
Scamacca, yeah.
Paquetá, etc. So he can't, like you say, he kind of gone against his model where he kind of gone for mid-range players and kind of developed them into kind of steady players in his squad, etc. So he might.
What, like when he went to Man United and bought Fellaini? Yeah. Mad.
That was a poison challenge job anyway. But
yeah.
Aside from that, I think he might go back to his kind of tried and tested formula next season.
And if you look at their squad now, so how old is Mikel Antonio? He's
they need a striker. They need a striker.
Scamacca hasn't worked out, but this is his first season, right?
Yeah.
Jared Bowen is a good player and someone I'm surprised you don't hear more transfer talk about. I think he's been good. He's been consistent. I think him and Harvey Barnes are probably the same kind of level. Or Bowen's probably a little bit.
I heard Newcastle for Bowen, yeah.
That would be a good. That's who they should have been
Arsenal heavily linked
Gordon
anyway.
And it's weird, like last summer, he got into all of the Nations League squads for England.
Yes.
Off the back of a fairly decent season. Yeah. Didn't really take his chances, but like since then, he hasn't really kind of lived up to.
So they need to buy a striker.
Do you know what I'm disappointed in?
Who?
Said Ben Rama.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Really?
Because when he was at Brentford in the Championship, he was a madness.
But you just said it. Brentford Championship.
No, but his level of performance was better than the Championship.
It's a big step up. And I think the manager he plays for as well, I think it makes a difference. And I do remember one point where fans vocalized what you're saying.
Yeah.
And he said something in the interview after like, everyone's an expert, aren't they? He's not doing what I need him to do, so he came off.
I just think he's got the ability and potential to be an exciting, creative player for West Ham. Now,
is he in the team to do that?
I don't know if this is what I was about to say. I don't know if it's whether Moyes is saying this is what I need you to do, not what you was doing at Brentford. And he's just doing that, and he's just content with doing that. Or he's just, like you said, he's stepped up to the Prem and the level's just too big of a jump.
I mean, he done all right in his first season though. Like,
but he can do better.
I agree.
He can do better.
And I think what might have shamed him a little bit is because he was there when Lingard was there, wasn't he? He was already there.
Yeah.
So then Moyes picks up the phone and what Lingard was doing, creating and scoring goals, is what I bought you for, right?
Yeah.
So he's now brought him on alert and the guy is slapped off the season.
Because that's what he was doing at Brentford.
Right, exactly.
What Lingard was doing at West Ham is what Ben Rama was doing at Brentford.
Yeah, I think Ben Rama's found his level. Well, that's what it seems to me. He's found his level. We don't know what that step up, because I'm sure step up wages why wasn't being created. Like his whole lifestyle's changed. And I hate to go there because that's what generally love to throw at players, but you just never know what that entire step up can do. You know, facilities, the players you're playing there with, all of that stuff. So, but he's been there 3 seasons now. Maybe he's been there some time. I won't be surprised if he's someone that gets moved on. I won't be surprised at all. But I remember they gave him a decent, I think it was a 5-year deal or something. Yeah. It was a protracted one with Brentford. So I won't be surprised.
It wasn't like Brentford came up and he stayed with Brentford and then had to show that he... Yeah. Oh, they was like...
They were after him. They were after him.
We don't care if Brentford are coming up. We want him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another Brentford.
Who's the better player, Buendia or Benrahma?
Ability-wise?
I'd say Benrahma.
Ability-wise, yeah. I'd say
Buendia.
You think
Buendia's
Buendia?
doing his thing now.
I think Buendia
is more effective.
So is it a case of maybe he's under the wrong manager?
Maybe. I think
He'll be in the wrong
affects the
team
game more. He might be less flashy, but I think he affects the game more.
I think West Ham still have the opportunity to make it a great season.
Yeah,
if they stay up and win that European conference, then they qualify for Europa League. So that's
great season.
That's like coming 7th.
Yeah,
it's a little blip in the league,
tight,
and that's it.
And the table's so tight, 6 points, you're 11th. So they've got 5 games left. Again, the way this Premier League's gonna shake out all the way to the end, it's real. It's a real.
If they win that, do they push another English team out of the Europa?
Isn't there only one spot for Europa though?
Is it?
Two spots.
Two spots.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah,
So they might kick another team up.
Probably the
I don't
8th
think
spot goes into conference, and maybe whoever's in conference doesn't make it.
Because there was a big issue with that when they had, because they got to keep the numbers the same, right? They can't extend the tournament.
Yeah.
So when certain permutations happen, either someone in your league gets pushed down, or what they did one year is, I can't remember, it was one of the UK teams. They wanted to keep everyone in the Prem happy, so they took someone's place from another country. They went to call everything. It was crazy. They went to
when we won the Champions League in 2005.
They made us go from the
it was more recent than that.
Really?
Yeah, it was more recent than that, yeah.
You just wanted to throw that in.
No, I thought that's what you were talking
because
about.
After that,
we had to qualify.
Yeah, and after that, they said the champions shouldn't be qualifying. Like
yeah,
that.
of course.
Yeah.
So they said, I think that's probably where we ended up with that situation.
So you won the Champions League but didn't come top 4?
Yeah.
No, Everton beat us. So we had to start our season in July.
Champions.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
The banner that year was
crazy. Everton didn't qualify either.
No, they came
No, they weren't in the Champions. They didn't qualify. They had to go to qualify. No, Everton.
They didn't make group stage.
They didn't make the group stage. They didn't qualify.
But that's when we only had 3 automatic.
Yeah.
So they got the fourth They got 4th
and then didn't make it in.
And then there was a whole big. And then for the Groundhog Day conversation, Chelsea.
Can we pause on the Chelsea abuse though for just a bit, because we got there next, bro. I said it earlier in the week, bro.
He's being superstitious.
No, bro. If the last 4
this
games,
is not Arsenal pod, so we
I'm
can't.
going to be shameless.
It's not an Arsenal pod. We can't.
I'm going to be shameless.
We've got to talk the things
and say, if you lot let Chelsea get a point off you, that is terrible.
Would that be in the realms of surprise? The way we've been
because at some point, statistically, they've got to pick up a point at some point.
Exactly.
It can't be against you.
They've lost how many in a row?
Yeah.
5 in a row.
They can see
they've got to pick up a point sooner or later.
Nah, man.
Not a point.
No, but how bad is this? Like, I'm trying to really frame. This is mad. Absolutely,
he's not helping
mad.
himself though, because he played N'Golo Kanté up front.
That's what he played in my front.
Did you not see their formation?
What game was that one?
Brentford.
Yeah.
Someone pull up the Brentford their formation against
Brentford. Because you know sometimes the media put the formation out, but it's not how the team.
There was hysterics on social media about the formation.
Wow. So he paid Kanté and
was it Gallagher?
And Gallagher behind Sterling.
The thing is, like,
or Havertz, it could have been one of the two. I can't see.
Bro, at this point, I'm flabbergasted. I'm not gonna lie. I'm absolutely flabbergasted.
Sterling, yeah.
3rd manager of the season, like, for different reasons, they're kind of in the same Tottenham is free fall. Tottenham's free fall is relative to them, right? In terms of off the pitch and the way the games are panning out. This is a proper free fall, i.e., you've come in to steady the ship because, my man was doing so badly and you've lost every single game you've managed. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're doing crazy things tactically.
Can we agree, though, we don't get no blame on Lampard for this?
What?
Say what?
You're going mad.
I need to hear this out.
Say what?
Please.
Yeah, expand, please.
Wow.
Let's unpack this.
No blame. No, you're not even
Zero
saying
blame.
some of the blame.
Minimal blame.
Potter would have got some points.
Yeah. Potter won games with these players, bro.
Potter would have won a game.
Bro, Potter won games with these players.
Because he said no
Potter
blame.
got through to the knockout stage Champions League with these players, bro.
But we all agree it is a mess. It's
a mess.
Definitely a mess. But Potter,
to lose 6 games in a row.
To sack Potter and then bringing Lampard makes it more of a mess. So it's more of a mess
because
now than where it
Lampard
was
is
when
not a
Joel
good
was
manager.
And then now you're employed and you are the manager. You have lost every single game that you've managed with that squad of players.
But again,
Not got any draws.
we've discussed though. It might be a case of they just brought Lampard in because he's club legend and just see out the rest of the season.
No, but the reason for bringing him in
but
is
not like
separate.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
not
reason
like
for bringing him
this.
is separate.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about his performance as a manager of that football club. Go.
No, it's been terrible, but I don't know what else. What else? I didn't expect him to come in and start winning games.
Win a game.
What?
Win a game.
I didn't expect him to come in and start winning games.
What did you expect? What did you expect?
I expected more points than 0, but I didn't expect.
And he hasn't done that.
There you go.
It's just-
That's
Where
it.
did we go? I mean,
But I think Chelsea's just like Tottenham. Both clubs, they just need the season to end. This season is a write-off for both
Yeah, it's
clubs.
true.
They just need the season to end.
Yeah.
So-
Like, I said it was like, I said him going there was a free hit. And he's not even hitting the free hit. You know, like in Little League, where they put the ball on the stick so they don't get pitched at. He's swinging at that and still missing the ball.
Mad.
Like, it's crazy.
so do we, honestly, guys, I think as this goes on, if we get to the end of the season, he will win or draw a game, surely. So let's just,
Hopefully,
that how
hopefully
low the bar
tomorrow.
is?
no, it is
madness.
because he's been there, right?
Hopefully tomorrow.
Does he get another
Slow
Premier
it, man.
League job
No.
in the next season?
No.
If he does, I think he will. But if he does,
So you're thinking even with this, his
Someone
privilege
will-
can't save him this
Nah,
time.
bro.
It's that
No.
bad.
So I think he's got enough connections to get a championship, like a fairly decent championship job
Yeah.
again. But if any chairman or owner takes Frank Lampard for a Premiership job, they need their head tested.
Facts. He's not getting another Premiership job in the near future.
Because I think the optics are so bad now, it will be blatant. Like it will be blatant the fact that it's Frank Lampard. He's an ex-England legend.
See, and now he's took the job. Keith said it. Oh, yeah, at the time, free hit.
Yeah.
Now look, if he didn't take that job, relaxed, chilled out,
Yeah.
he could have probably got a prem job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's the other side to the discussion mark about just career decisions, right? So I'm very hard on the whole Harry Kane thing in that actually at the end of a successful career, whenever they play it back and they always talk about the inflection point. Well, I made this decision instead of that decision. I listened to a podcast today and I always forget, but Gary Lineker talks about when he went to Barcelona and how they did it. He couldn't decide. He'd been at Everton. He'd scored 40 goals that season. He was having a madness. Him and his wife couldn't decide. They just put a piece of paper in a hat and picked it up. But you had that
Right.
conversation after. So,
I heard that.
You know,
Mad.
he'll say I couldn't resist. It's Chelsea. Bro, don't lie. You thought I'm going to come back in. I'm going to reignite the thing. I'm going to
And
do well here.
maybe get the job.
Yeah. I might get a
And
job.
to be fair, like I know we make fun of Chelsea, etc., but they've got a squad to not be where they are.
I know.
now,
I agree.
So he's more free from the outside
I've said
looking
this.
in.
Yeah.
He's going.
It's a good project.
This is where Mark's argument about the players is even stronger.
Yeah.
Like with
Yeah. So
But-
like, you think you could?
That's
do,
why it's never a free hit
yeah.
in my eyes. How can it
Never.
be a free hit if he's in his mind, and we all know you can go there. If he won every single game to the end of the season, obviously that ain't gonna happen. Whatever. But if he just went on a mad run, they're gonna give him the job.
Yeah. It is crazy, and there's different school of thoughts, right? The simplistic view is you've got lots of talents at your disposal. You should do better. There's another school of thought which elite managers will tell you is actually there are some things that you only experience at that level. So if you're not a certain level of manager, you can't deal with it. You can't make it happen. You know, games every 3 days, certain player personalities, and they've bought so many different players. They've got all different problems. So you got players that are at a big club for the first time. Look at Modric. Like, he hasn't played that many games in his career. He's now at Chelsea, coping with that. You got players like Raheem Sterling who've come from a very successful team. Have got X amount of Prem titles. What are you man doing? There's this really big melting pot of people in various different places in their career at different stages, and there's like 5,000 of them. So it would, even the most seasoned of managers, it would have taken some work to fill that out. But I have no sympathy for Frank. Zero.
I disagree.
So if we circle back after all of that, Daz, what are you saying? You still?
He had no choice. He had to take it. There was no choice.
He had to take it.
He could have said no. He could have said no.
He's never going to say no.
He couldn't say no.
That's fine, but he didn't have to take it.
Yeah, and he brought his own team in. Like, he got Ashley Cole working. Like, he brought in the whole team. But what
He's
I mean
the
is,
answer.
if you take like Ryan Mason at Tottenham, like, he's just gone in there and working with what he's got in it. Like, Lampard's gone in there.
And he's got the full backing.
He got the whole back. He's
That's
like, right.
his staff.
They've all gone though, innit? That's because Potter's staff went.
But for an interim, how often do you get an interim coming in and you're saying, like, I want to bring all these men with me? With an interim, you normally come in
Ray got that as well.
and take what's there.
No, whenever he goes to a job, whether it's interim or full on, he's gonna take his back.
If you're coming from external, but I disagree with that. No, I disagree with that notion. I know it sounds nice, narrative and story wise, but just because it's Chelsea that's called, take the emotion out of it. To your point, right? Take the emotion out of it, or just be honest. I took the job for these reasons, and actually made it easier because it was Chelsea.
Okay, so if we actually just focus on the game specifically, right? That wild piece of information that Kanté was in the front three. I mean, they do have a striker on the bench, but he's not being used.
He came on that game, to be fair. Aubameyang.
He did.
He came on.
Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Okay.
And had the only shot on target.
Yeah.
Well, when I say they don't have a striker, they're choosing not to play with an out-and-out striker.
Yep.
Right?
Kai Havertz has been like refashioned a little bit.
He's not a striker, though.
No, I agree.
Right?
I
And
agree.
so I think it's a bit of an issue of shooting yourself in the foot. You've got
And
a
who
striker.
brought Havertz in?
Do you know what's mad though? I saw the other day as well. Barcelona want Aubameyang back.
Yeah.
So why ain't you using him? Like, what's going on?
Exactly. So all right, cool. They've got a striker there. They're not using him. They've got a wealth of players from the wide positions back to defense. I'm sorry, but you must be able to come in. You get a team report. We've all played Champs Manager. We get to I know it's a bit apples and oranges to compare Champs Managers, but the principle is still the same. You come in, you get a team report, you have training, you can find your best 11 to go and get a point at least.
But that's where his lack of skill or his lack of capability in that role is showing.
I'm just surprised that they don't have it. I mean, if you look at the Brentford game, they were pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Despite not having multiple options on goal. But I think the lack of attacking options is killing them. I think if they had a proper striker up front, we might be having very different conversations.
I think it's a slightly more macro problem than that. I just don't know what Frank Lampard's style of play is. What type of play? What is his football?
I don't know.
What is Lampard ball?
I think he's there just chilling, bro. I actually think he's just chilling.
They're not getting relegated.
I think
they're not getting Europe.
There's no jeopardy for him, is there?
Checked out, innit?
He said something the last after the game. He said something about no one was watching anyway because of the Arsenal City game. So it's like lucky for me, no one was watching. They was probably watching.
He's right.
Bro, he's taking liberties, bro. He's chilling,
and he's got a lot of those sound bites since he got the job, isn't he?
It was the Real Madrid one. Didn't realize how good they were.
He's probably thinking, I can't believe this brother gave me a job.
Maybe you see there's a free hit then if that's his quotes.
Probably don't care.
And also we assume that he still wants to have this long, glittery career management. He might come to the realization, you know what? Maybe this thing isn't for me. Maybe we'll see what he says. Chelsea have called you, as you say, come in and do something for us. Maybe this was a checkpoint for him to rediscover his love for it. He's at Chelsea. If he could get Chelsea out of a top spot, again, the club he loves, etc. But for all we know, he might have, after the Everton situation, he might have said, you know what?
Mate,
because he's not doing it for the money.
People might have said to him as well, you know what? I can't see another Prem club coming in for you. And then Chelsea came calling and said, "But you never guess who just called me." I accepted it before you. I accepted it. You don't even need to.
It'll take it. It'll take it. Todd. Don't worry.
You know, there was when you're somewhere, you pick up your phone like, bro, why has Isaac called me 10 times? Call me, message me, ring me, 15 missed calls, and then by the time you call him back, oh, I got your job.
Done. Start Monday, mate.
Yeah, Cobham, Monday. Don't worry, I even sorted the money. Just tell them, yeah, it's cool. But then, so Newcastle. I mean,
what a job.
I mean, Eddie Howe.
Fire.
What a job.
If he's not manager this season, who is?
Arteta.
Wow.
It's close.
I think with manager the season, you've got to decide at the end of the season. You've got to see what.
Yeah, but who's in the running then? Sorry.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh, wait. So out of let's just take Pep out of it.
Yeah.
Eddie and Arteta.
Yeah. Who else?
And
Eddie Howe.
And Gary O'Neill. Gary O'Neill as well.
Eddie Howe over Arteta? Are you serious?
No, I'm just saying them
question,
two because
bro.
I don't think anyone else is
Yeah,
going to
no,
get it.
I'd
So-
say-
Eddie Howe.
As player, manager of the season.
Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe over Arteta. You serious?
Which is
No,
which
in
is
the
the bigger
running.
achievement?
In
Which
the
is the
running.
bigger achievement?
No, it's not about which is the bigger achievement. Who's had the better season, bro?
Newcastle.
Nah.
Hands down.
You think so?
Okay,
Hands down.
going back to your point,
No way.
if Newcastle
bonkers,
finish
bro.
3 points behind you, who's had the better season?
Well, they're behind us, so
They're
Arsenal
not
had the
gonna
better
finish.
season.
How far Newcastle by? Like,
Based on their
20
achievements,
points.
yeah, I hear what you're
Sorry,
saying.
it's a
I hear what you're
story.
saying, but
They're 10
you
points
can't give it
behind
to. No, listen.
Start of the season.
Pep's gonna
Start of the
get it in.
season. What were Arsenal's objectives?
Top four.
What would you
Champions
say?
League,
Top
top
four.
four.
Yeah.
Start of the season. What were Newcastle's?
Europa.
Europa.
Even
Conference.
I think
but
it's a good debate.
Most
because
teams have
also-
overachieved.
yeah.
Exactly.
I thought
Who's overachieved more?
Arsenal.
Of
I
course,
think
Arsenal have overachieved more. We always won the league if we don't win.
Well,
we
this
we
is like you
bottled
said.
the league.
I think we can say who's in the running, but until we get.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think end
think
of the season.
take Pep out of it.
Yeah.
Put Pep. I think you've got Eddie Howe, you've got Mikel Arteta, you've got Unai
That's it.
Emery.
No,
And you've got Gary O'Neill.
Gary
Unai
O'Neill.
Emery for-
Gary
No,
O'Neill.
but not in the
Have you
actual.
seen
He
him?
was
He
there for the season.
I'm not saying.
Wait, one voice.
He came in too late. You can't give Unai Emery. You can't even put him.
I'm not saying he ain't done his thing.
He's not
he
a
has,
strong contender,
but
but he's
I'm
in the
not
running.
going to put
He might be in
him
contenders, but
above
He's not going to win it.
No, we're talking contenders. Yeah.
Oh,
We're talking
Arteta.
about who's
Who's possibly in the
or
running?
how.
No, I'm not saying that. They're
Who's
but
in the
you-
running? Yeah, he
Yeah,
can be
like,
one of the
Gary
names.
O'Neill
but
as
he's-
well. in the
Yeah.
running.
Gary
I think
O'Neill,
those
yeah,
four.
definitely.
Take out
Yeah.
Pep, and I think those are your.
I won't put
However,
Unai in it.
if Pep they break their own consecutive wins record,
Yeah, Pep
give him,
has
just give him the award, man. Get my man with the chisel out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so very
just
quickly, your top three.
top three this season.
Top three.
With or
managers.
without Pep.
With Pep.
With Pep.
Pep, Eddie, Arteta.
Wow.
Not in order. Not in order.
No, I want your order, bruv.
Oh, order. Pep, Arteta, Eddie.
Okay. How's that?
Eddie Arteta.
Wow.
Easy.
That's mad. I think that's mad.
Newcastle are third.
I think that's mad though, bro.
Well,
I think that's mad, bro.
his squad, like, man,
that's
turned
mad.
Joe Linton into.
I think that's
Nah.
mad. If
You know
you
what,
look, if you look at who Newcastle have been
No,
battling
let
with,
him get his.
no, quickly, look at
Because
who
he knows what I'm
Newcastle
going to
battling with.
say. He wants the clip.
That's a clip there. That's a clip there.
I want to say Arteta, Pep, Eddie.
Say it.
Because we've pushed them so far. They're the best team ever.
But say it with chest.
best team I've ever seen.
But as it stands today,
Say it with
you
chest.
can
bro.
say that.
Say it with
Tomorrow
So I
we
think at
face
the end of the
Chelsea. We're
season-
going to win.
Yes. Yeah,
I hope so,
100%.
innit?
And we're going to go back top.
I tell you what, I need to change mine still.
I'm saying Arteta, Pep, Eddie.
I'm saying Pep, Eddie,
Go on, Dad.
Arteta.
I'm saying Arteta,
Wow.
Pep, Gary O'Neill.
Well done.
Wow.
Can you say that again? Arteta, Pep, Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nah.
where do you stand on Unai?
Unai.
Yeah.
He's not done the season, so I wouldn't.
But Gary O'Neill.
That's what I'm thinking.
But
Yeah.
Gary O'Neill has been most of the season. He's been like.
Look how he's
he
smiling.
does.
Look how he's
Gary
Gary
smiling.
O'Neill,
as
but
answers the
he
question.
coming after like
Can
4 or
we get
5
a difference?
games.
'Cause I'm sure it's like
It was like 4 or 5
Unai
games.
came in
maybe
January?
6 or
What?
8 weeks.
No,
Unai
it's
came in
like
January?
he's been there for the
Isaac.
majority.
His smile says everything you need to know, bro.
I know.
He's proper trying to shove Emery out.
Gary O'Neill got there like must have been about 4 or 5
Go on,
games.
Mark, what's your top three?
Depends on how the season ends.
Don't give
But
me
as
yours.
of right now,
You want to say
I'm saying Arteta,
so-
Pep.
Do it.
Arteta, Pep, and Eddie Howe. If Pep wins the treble or even the league alone, it's Pep, Arteta, Eddie Howe. Me.
So, it does.
Daz, you're wild.
Come and get with them dates.
How many points did Bournemouth have before?
No,
How many
my
points?
managers-
How many points did he have?
Back to dates. Who got their job first?
Gary O'Neill.
Yeah,
Nope.
No, remember he was interim first before he got the actual job. So you might be looking at the job he become permanent, but he had the job before that.
Yeah, he did. Because he got sacked after Liverpool beat them.
Yeah, after the 9-0.
But Unai came in October.
It was close.
Yeah, I knew it was early. I knew it was there. I knew it wasn't this
So
year.
that's pretty much a full season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say full
But
season.
where Villa? They've been like 7th or something.
But look where they were.
Yeah, so
No,
Gary O'Neill was only there a month longer than you, man. That's it.
I think he's done a lot better than you.
What? You are bonkers, mate.
How?
They got 9-0. He took the team lost that. Villa weren't losing 9-0.
It doesn't matter. But where they were, and then the
What was it,
knocking on the door of
16-6?
Europe.
No.
They weren't losing 9-0. He had a decent squad. Look at their squad compared to what he's working with at
They were
Bournemouth.
basically the bottom. They were around. They were in the same place in the table, roughly.
But one had a decent squad and one didn't.
Okay.
No, but
I think with what he's had to work with,
Gary's
I think he's
done well.
done great.
He's done well.
I think he's done better.
He's not
with what
done
got to
better
work
than
with.
Emery,
I
but
don't think
he's
he's
done
done
well.
well. They've both done well. But
Emery's
I
got
don't
a
see
decent squad.
Okay.
So is Lampard.
I think. I mean, Emery, Aston Villa are 7th, 54 points, the same points as Tottenham. They're 2 points behind Liverpool, bro. From where they were
At the beginning of the season, where would we say Aston Villa would be coming?
10th,
Top
12th,
10th,
Mid-table.
Where would we say Bournemouth are coming? Everyone bottom.
Yeah, they're 13th, bro. They're not exactly.
No, but
13th from bottom.
that is.
Yeah, fair.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
I remember we said
13th from bottom is a bigger jump than
But it's
10th
tight
to
down there,
7th.
so.
Yeah.
Remember, Graeme, what was you going to say?
What?
Well, remember we said
Oh no, you say like it, the league is a bit fake in it in terms of the points gaps, etc. So you say they're 13th, but they can lose 2 games and go
And
down.
be in
But
relegation.
we're going to
I'm only
16th,
talking
innit?
as we stand today.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I know, but-
As we stand
So,
today,
I think
that's a
we-
big, massive job.
And then let's add in. I think it's not just a points thing for me, right?
Mm.
When you watch Villa,
Yeah.
the football they play, the way they attack teams, he's got people ticking. I mean, he's got Ollie. Bruv, I'm not looking forward to that. But anyway, he's got Ollie Watkins moving like
The
he's
players
some-
playing better.
like he's a
Wendia
yeah.
playing better. Watkins
the
playing
guy's
better.
scoring consecutively. He's scoring those goals
back
that you
in the
score on a
running.
streak. He's coming off his ship.
Mings
Mings is playing better.
Yeah?
Mings is playing
Yeah,
better.
Mings actually look like he can defend.
Yeah, it's a decent job. But it's a
Aye.
decent job.
But be
He's
consistent,
standing on it.
please.
He's standing on
It's
it.
a
Be
decent
consistent.
job. No, I'm just saying it's a decent job,
Alright,
but I'm
cool.
not putting it in the
Key.
Gary. He's
Can
not
we-
done
can we-
Have you said
anything
your top 3 yet?
out
So,
of ordinary.
so what's your top 3 for manager of the year?
So I do Pep, Eddie Arteta.
Yeah.
Eddie Arteta. I don't get why people are putting Eddie over Arteta. I don't get
Okay,
it.
let me tell you
I
then.
don't
So
get
for
it.
me,
when they beat you, you'll see.
Oh, allow it, man.
Yo.
Allow it, man. Allow it.
no, but I think hey, you need to stop saying this stuff.
That's what
If
I'm
it starts
saying.
coming to you,
That's what I'm saying,
bruv,
bro.
man will move the recorder and not tell you, innit? No, I just think when you look at the squad, he's sprinkled some players in there, but he's basically got the nucleus of the squad of the team that starts 11 is the same that he inherited. Even with the funds at his disposal, yes, they paid
This
good
is
money for
another
certain
point.
players. You know, he paid good money for Isak because no one else wanted to pay it, right?
Yeah.
Got Bruno in, got Trippier in, Botman's one of the highest rated. Fine, I get that. But to still have, you know, Joelinton running around, moved his position,
Dan Burn at left back.
Dan Burner left back, Willock,
Long stuff.
Yeah, I
they're going to
think-
start saying Willock needs to start knocking on the door for the England squad soon if he carries on like this.
I think as well, they had like a very mini slump,
Yes.
and everyone was like, "Oh, what are they gonna
Yeah.
do?" And he's like, "Right, come on, lads, let's
Yeah.
put it back together."
Yeah.
And you can say they're playing better now than what they were before
I
the
agree.
I
slump.
think they're playing much better than
Much
they were.
better.
Yeah.
They were there.
And this is a perfect kind of headache to have because coming into the summer, we've got a war chest of funds.
Mm.
We're now going into Champions League. We can attract top level players,
Yeah,
not just entry level European level players. No, we can attract top level players. There's already talk. At one point, Kane's name was linked with Newcastle. At one point, I know it's all rumor mills and things, but just being able to have those caliber of players linked with your club, and on top of that, you've already got a solid base of players.
Yeah.
It's not like a City when they got money and they just went out and bought Robinho last day of the transfer season,
Yeah,
or
they know what they're
Chelsea
doing, innit?
right now who have just bought
Everybody.
anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
Newcastle have gone. Eddie Howe's come in and gone, right, this is our base, this is our style. Now, when they go into the transfer market, they can go in and make informed
So I read
decisions.
an article last week that said actually what they want to do is effectively be Brighton with money. So
There you go.
they're getting the data in, and they've got I've forgotten his name for the life of me, but their director of football, well regarded, was working in England for a bit. He was at Brighton. They basically had a protracted 3 or 6 month wait for him. So they're actually going to get the data in. They're going to try and get the next Caicedo, Stupian, etc., and then sprinkle it in. It could actually, I think they're going to go for I was going to use the word sustainable. Don't go that far. But I think they're going to take a more gradual approach to building that squad out. But you're right. I think next season they're going to have to, not Kane, but they're going to have to get people that can at least make sure they don't embarrass themselves in the Champions League. Because as much as that team is fantastic, Champions League is a different kettle of fish. Group stages is different.
And I think he's given the owners a bit of a headache. Like when he was appointed, it was kind of like, he was, even though he's given the full-time job, people kind of saw him as an interim to like,
Stepping
right,
stone.
steady the ship, and then let's see how you get on next season. And then if they not if they didn't get the Champions League, but if they weren't as high at the table as they thought they would have been, they might have been like, right,
So
you've
effectively,
taken us as far as
their
we can
version
go.
of Mark Hughes, effectively.
Yeah, so I think he's kind of
Mm.
ahead of the curve a bit too early.
Yeah.
But what is interesting, you're saying about their sustainable model, they announced a shirt sponsorship from a Middle Eastern
Company.
Oh,
I think it's 25 million a year.
25 million a year.
Was that the most? Is that the most? Well, how's that compared to everyone else?
We'll have a look. But 25 million a year for a team in Newcastle.
Yeah,
that's
so
mad.
yeah.
But then
There's no global reach.
But
Good.
Newcastle are a big club.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not a
No, they're
small
not.
club.
They're not a big club. No,
Eh?
allow
They're
it.
not a big club.
Allow it.
Wait, hold on.
Come on.
Wait.
No.
In what terms are we a big club?
Oh, they're a
Wait,
big club,
that's
bro.
so let's contextualize, right?
Yeah.
So for me, why I say they're a big club is because no matter what division they're in, they've filled that stadium. They've got a massive following. However, it's a very small captive audience. So
Yeah.
normally, when you pay that kind of money for those sponsorship deals, it's for reach, it's for visibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of money you give the Man Uniteds and that. Not a team that is very, very important to the local area, but. What? There's no Newcastle fans in Brazil, bro. What are you paying
There's
that
no
money
Newcastle
for?
fans outside of Newcastle.
Outside of Newcastle.
Man
City a big club. Man City a big club.
Man City are bigger than Newcastle.
No,
Are
that's
they
not-
a big
that's
club?
not
No,
the
they're a big
question.
club.
Are they a big
No,
club?
they're a big club.
They're big now. They are.
Big
Yeah.
club.
Based on what?
Okay.
Based on their
Who-
recent
who would
success.
Who would you say are the big clubs?
What,
In the Prem.
In the Prem.
Yeah.
Man United,
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool,
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
Man City.
You're talking about trophies
Tottenham.
one, though, isn't it?
Nah, Tottenham.
No, I wouldn't even. I class more of a
They're
big club.
prestigious
It's
club, but
more
not big.
worldwide.
Fan base.
Yeah. So I'm. If you go to America, you go to Africa. How many Tottenham fans are you seeing? I don't think you're seeing that
Go
many.
to Asia.
Asia.
Go to
Because
South
of some,
Korea.
right, you go to South Korea, then you'll see
Yeah.
quite a lot.
But that's
For
why
one
they buy
player.
certain players.
All right,
Yeah.
but let's
to get
let's-
that reach into
So let's
the
take the
market.
international of it. If we think about what is a big English club, I think you have to extend that list.
Put Newcastle.
You got to put
if
Newcastle. You got to put Leeds in there.
Newcastle are in
speaking
it.
domestically,
Yeah.
then you can say that.
No, that's what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
domestically. But
Yeah.
when I say big, I'm thinking worldwide.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking domestically, but Newcastle, because they're a one club town.
No. The reason why it's separate, right? But
That makes
20
them even more bigger.
yeah, exactly.
Because
But
it's a one-
25
one
million a
club
year. Nah.
That means
With the
everyone
population
in
of Newcastle-
Newcastle supports Newcastle.
But the population of Newcastle is 800,000 people or something.
So are we kind of teetering on the FFP?
Bruv, don't get us in cool.
Discussion.
Don't get us in cool. Don't libel anyone. We just think that it's a very well negotiated
Yeah.
sponsorship deal.
Yeah.
I would love to. We'll let that one wash through, but it was gonna happen sooner or later, right? It was gonna.
So, all right. How do we think? I know it's too early to call or too early to say, but just figuratively speaking, how do you feel Newcastle will do next season? Like, considering now they've got Champions League, domestic competitions, and obviously the league.
It's going to be
itself.
problems.
I think like Arsenal, they need a bigger squad. I don't think their current squad is good enough to manage four competitions.
Not just size, the quality, average quality.
Yeah.
Has to go up.
Roughly, how many key players would you say would need to walk in through that door? 6.
But what do you want them to achieve? To achieve what though?
To
At
maintain
the
that.
bare minimum, yeah, they have to maintain.
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
To remain top
So
four.
they have to hit.
I
top
think their
4.
league form suffers. I don't think they'll get top 4 next year.
Even with signings.
I was going to say
Even with
that.
signings, because you got Liverpool,
Yeah.
Chelsea, they're not going to be back down in 10th next year.
Not even so much about the other teams. Yeah, the other teams, we think they're going to bounce back next season. But I just feel like it's going to be Eddie Howe's first time in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these players' first time in Europe. All them players that we're saying now, the Longstaffs and all that ain't going to run in Europe. Playing midweek weekend. I think if it was up to them, because obviously you just want to get wherever you land, the highest wherever you want to go in it. But Europa maybe, or the conference would have been good for them just to feel themselves into it, innit?
Yeah.
And I think they'll be realistic.
They're going to be, we think they're going to be in it. So they just got to have to deal with it, innit?
So I think they'll be realistic to you, and I think it'll be a case of we're in the Champions League, but when they drop into Europa, I mean, if they get through to the knockout, if they get out of the group, whatever group they get, because they're going to be low seed, right? So they're going to get a mad group.
I think they'll get out of the group.
You think they'll get out of the group?
I think they'll get out of the group, yeah.
So I'm depending on their signings, right? So if
Did they have to qualify?
No.
Okay.
No. So depending on what signings they make, if they don't get out of the group, you drop into Europa, and like you said, I think that they've got players that Europa's their level. Isak,
that ain't even. He is, but that ain't even
experience from his experience.
That ain't even guaranteed. Because look, Barcelona
you go
dropped out,
Yeah.
faced Man United, knocked out straight away. That's just one match in the Europa League. Like,
So just to your point, I just checked Leicester when they were in the Champions League. They got to the quarterfinals in their first season, but their league form did suffer. So do you think that?
Where did they think?
They didn't even get back to the Champions
Another
League.
thing as well, to your point, T, so you've got you got multiple factors there. One, Eddie Howe's experience at that level. 2, the squad's average quality at that level, and then 3, just dealing with all those. I mean, we see elite teams like they struggle with it, but I think we've cursed the free hit term, but it's almost it's a season for them. I think the number one objective for them next season is to maintain their league level.
Yeah.
Like top 4 should be the aim for them again next year. No matter what everyone else does, no matter whether Liverpool resurge, whether Chelsea get down to a squad of 30 and not 60, whatever, right?
I don't
because they're not expected to win the Champions League, are they?
Yeah,
so if they
not,
come out, then it's like
exactly.
But what they're not good. They need and like quality in depth as well. So every position, quality in depth in it. So they're not going to do that in one transfer window.
No, true.
Even January is going to be tough to get in place.
Those players will step up.
Can I just ask, how attractive do we think Newcastle will be as a destination?
Yeah, very. They can pay you anything you want. You want to go there?
No, not even that.
As
But
a player, would you go like I don't know? Say Chelsea in for you and Newcastle in for you. Where are you going to go in the summer?
So London will always have that pool.
If Chelsea's in for you and Newcastle,
I'm going
Newcastle.
I'll go Newcastle right now. I'll go Newcastle.
Whoever offers you the most money.
Got Champions League. I've got Champions League football.
The money similar.
Champions League football. I get the money I want.
Great stadium to play in.
Big stadium to play in, and like what you was not saying, it's a one club city.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a legend if you bang there.
Yeah.
And also
absolute legend.
Now Newcastle's a shop window. Like if I'm gonna go to Chelsea and be in that mix, right? Clubs in turmoil, or I can go to Newcastle to T's point, join the wave, play in the Champions League. This is now a step for me.
Right, well, let me change the club. Liverpool or Newcastle?
What position do I play?
That matters.
I'm choosing
I'm getting Newcastle.
I'm choosing Newcastle.
All right, you're
at this moment.
You're a defender.
Oh, I'm going Liverpool still.
But I think now it's not an easy decision to make, is it? Like, if Newcastle coming into you for you as well as another top 6 Premier League team, you're not going to be like, oh, it's got to be the other team. You're going to be like, right, what's Newcastle about? I think you're going to take your time and think about it.
Yeah.
And you got players like Bruno's gone there. Bruno's kind of started the wave, innit? Like, Bruno could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And he went Newcastle.
He was wanted.
It's like, I don't say you could have gone anywhere, but he was a highly rated striker. He decided to go Newcastle and like join the project.
And there was bare talk, but Newcastle are the ones that put the money up, right? And did it. So, and I think that some of those players have been very smart. They said, come here, make us a Champions League cup. They've done it now. People like Botman, he's been talked about for ages as a great potential, one of the best defenders in Europe, blah, blah, blah. He's gone to a club now, helped them improve, going to play in Champions League. He can't, unless he has a stinker, absolute stinker, he can't lose. So if I'm a player now, depending on what position, if it's Chelsea or Newcastle, Liverpool, Newcastle, if I was a defender, I'm going Newcastle. I'm going Liverpool, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. If I'm a centre back or a left back, I'm going Liverpool.
But remember, this only works if they maintain Champions League status.
Mm-hmm.
True.
All those players, they go in.
No, I agree.
Isaac's going,
I'm
Botman's
thinking
going.
just from a player point of view. Even if I go Newcastle next season, have a decent season, they finish 5th. I'm here now. Look at Isak. What club did he come from again? Sociedad. Whatever happens, he's here now.
Yeah, I don't
Sociedad was going in with things, huh?
Yeah, they were, but it's not the same level now. The shop window puts something now. So I still think it's a progressive move if they still sign the same kind of players. Now when it gets tricky, to your point, is if I'm already a Champions League player.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah. If you're someone a better level of player, that's what I'm trying to get at. Where are Newcastle in the pecking order?
Well, my argument would be why Newcastle even in the argument then? There's a reason for that. So maybe you need to go there to now go back up in your career. Possibly.
I think they're going to be linked with a lot of good players.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's Isaac's point though. Whoever offers you the most money, which is probably most likely going to be Newcastle, you're going there.
Newcastle or Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think maybe there's a bit of a discussion as well. If you're someone's agent, yes, this club's offering you more money, but you're going to play more here. So you actually will earn more money here.
Yeah.
Wait, are Newcastle going to be looking for a striker this summer?
I would expect so.
I would think so.
I would think so.
I'd think
You
so.
think they do?
Yeah.
Okay, Chelsea are going to be looking for a striker.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's the two giants going to be going for strikers. Who's going to go where?
I mean, it's so cynical.
I think it depends on the level of striker.
Yeah.
I think if it's Harry Kane,
Osman.
Osman, that's what I said.
You go Chelsea. Go Chelsea, bro.
Yeah. You know, guys, Newcastle will be looking for a striker.
Yeah.
They've got Wilson and Isak.
Wilson doesn't stay fit
to go into the Champions League.
Wilson's been on fire.
Bro,
of late, but he doesn't stay fit
They're
enough.
going Champions League.
Bro, they're going Champions League. End of.
No, but it's nothing to do with visibility.
And Wilson's what, 30
His
plus?
fitness.
Yeah, he's on
You know, if it's at fitness, I'm with you.
No, you can bang in the Champions League by being okay in it.
Yeah.
No. Let's.
When we said they're not in it to win it, like
listen, he's 30 plus.
That's what I was about to say.
They're going into the Champions League. His fitness is a question.
Yeah.
I know. I said they need to buy someone.
No. I'm just like listing off the things of why
He's
I
stacking up
feel
the case.
they need a new.
So you think they would go for someone to start? There's someone to go in front of Isak?
Yeah. You want someone to give him competition? Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Callum Wilson gives him the level of competition that you need for a club that wants to maintain top 4 and be in the Champions League.
Did you see what Isak done against Everton?
Yeah, when he got
Is Callum Wilson doing?
No, and he's not a perennial high scorer. I know he's had a few seasons with 10, 12, but Callum Wilson is not going to get you 20 goals in the league and slap
I think
competition.
that's more to do with fitness, to be fair.
You think he gets
that's
20
why they
goals
got
if he's fully
to find
fit?
someone.
You think he's getting 20 goals if he's fully fit?
In the last couple of years, maybe not now, he's getting on a bit, but in the last few years, I think his goal to game ratio, if you look at it, would probably be quite good.
Newcastle have
But good
got to
enough
find those.
for a team that's pushing for Champions League.
Maybe not good enough for Champions League. though.
They need to find
and
those.
you got to look at where Newcastle are
Those
going,
club
right?
legends, bro. Like what City got, like David Silva and those kind of players. That's the type of players that they need
It'll be interesting
to
to see.
maintain that top 4.
I mean, and John was saying
they have
that,
to.
like, when those players went to City, they went there early. Like
That's what I'm saying.
Aguero was at Man City for 10 years.
Look at that Aguero,
Silva went
Company.
there, fresh from Valencia,
Silva.
like babyface. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they can get those, which they're kind of doing with Bruno and Isak, if they get those kind of young, good players, could be all right.
That will form the core of the team.
Yeah.
This is it.
It's a really interesting one, and I think if they do it strategically and actually say, look, we're not just going to throw the pot of gold, and actually say, well, we'll use our money to pick the right players. You know, go for the next young guy that maybe the Arsenals, the Man Cities. Well, no, your Arsenal is the step before, man. But you go somewhere else first before you come to us.
Yeah.
If Newcastle are not that club you go to first, it can actually be quite a clever way. And then they probably hope that in 5 years, they're the club. Maybe 5, 6. They're the club that is now. It's not.
You think
it's
that's
Chelsea
what
or Newcastle.
you think that's what Kompany and Silva and Aguero thought? They thought that we're gonna go here. I'm gonna see what's happening. Maybe it might be a stepping stone.
Yeah.
They
might get to a Man United.
They went there because of the money.
Yeah,
money obviously,
but
because the gaffer at the time was who?
Mark Hughes.
Was it Pellegrini or?
No, it was Pellegrini.
When all of them come in.
No, but when some of the players came
Oh,
in,
sorry,
right. It was after the Marquinhos era.
When
Pellegrini was well respected.
Mancini was, wasn't it Mancini?
Yeah, so Mancini, there was Pellegrini, so the manager was well respected.
So-
I think they got sold the project and the money. Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
then they're never going to City otherwise.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
So off the back of it's an interesting topic. Off the back of the Callum Wilson kind of rebut. Callum Wilson's in form.
Yeah. He's
Ollie
got 15 Prem goals this season.
Ollie Watkins is banging. Ivan Toney's on fire.
Go on.
Rashford.
Harry Kane's obviously taken number 1 striker slot, which leaves what? How many strikers does he usually take?
Three.
Who takes
Three?
the other 2 slots?
Does he usually take 3? Takes
Yeah.
bare wingers and 2 strikers. Isn't it?
Nah, he normally takes 3.
He even takes 3 strikers and then bare wingers. And
Yeah.
sorry,
Like,
3
say-
strikers, Raheem Sterling,
Rashford can play the
Rashford, Sterling.
and then whoever else is.
So who fills those other 2 slots?
Are we
Tony.
counting Rashford?
Yes, no, we are. Because
Yeah.
he sounds peed off with him.
I think
Okay.
Rashford and Tony.
Yeah, so
I was saying Rashford
Kane,
and Tony.
Rashford,
Tony.
Yeah,
Tony.
Rashford and Tony. For me.
Ollie Watkins doesn't get
If
enough.
No, Henry
it
Rashford.
isn't Tony, I'm saying he takes Watkins.
If it's not Tony, then Watkins.
Only
Only
say Tony's bang comes
So,
in. Then.
okay,
Yeah.
so are we saying
And
if
Watkins.
you for the tournament, or are you saying just for the next squad?
Okay,
For the next squad.
If
both.
both.
if
Yeah.
it, so I think if it's for the next squad, which is a friendly,
Yeah.
Take Watkins.
then you give Watkins a go and right.
Because he's been in the squad
Because
before.
out of the rest of them, you haven't really seen what he can do in the England shirt. But I think if you're going to a tournament at the end of the season,
Tony.
I think you take
Take
Tony,
Tony.
Rashford, and Kane.
Yeah. Because my thing with Tony is he gives you so much more physicality, and I don't want to diminish him, but he's good in the air. He gives defenders problems. He can finish. He's a good penalty taker. And whilst Watkins' overall game has improved, I think Tony does those other things better than Watkins. But there's an argument to say Watkins is just as good a finisher as Tony. I think the stats show that.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we've had so many capable strikers.
Yeah. I mean, Southgate will just still pick his favourites.
Ever or first time since?
First time
No,
for a while.
first time in a while.
Yeah.
Like we've had Ian Wright, Shearer, Sheringham,
I think that was a
Fowler,
golden age of strikers.
Yeah, that
at
was
the same
mad.
time, innit?
Sutton,
and like-
Sheringham, right,
Yeah.
Fowler,
Andy
Shearer,
Cole.
I've said Ferdinand already. Just
Yeah, it was.
welfare
Yeah.
striker.
It was
So,
mad,
yeah.
mad times. When you look back, it was.
It's not them levels, but
Okay, so what does Abraham have to do?
Can't do anything.
Just get a look.
become better.
He needs to come back to the Prem.
Yeah, come back to the Prem and
Just
then
come back to the
bang.
Prem
I
and
don't
boss
think
it.
that's even gonna happen.
I don't
I
think so.
don't like that though. Why does he have to come back to the Prem? I don't
Okay,
like
but
that.
if he does, okay, because we've seen
No,
he
you're
isn't,
right.
he's not
No,
getting
you're
it,
right,
innit?
but I don't like
And
it.
he was banging goals, and
Yeah,
he
but
just
this
got
season
overlooked.
he's been terrible.
Okay, so when he comes back, where is he even gonna go?
Yeah, what club? Who buys him?
Brentford and Tony goes.
You think he comes? So you think he
But
goes?
that's his level. I
So
think
seriously, so
that's
you
not
think
a
he
bad
goes
shout.
from Roma? He said that with such a straight
Yo,
face.
Proper
as well.
no
shout.
disrespect to Brentford, but can't wait. He's going from Roma to Brentford.
Roma.
calm.
Bro, who else is he going
They might
to?
win
Where's he
the,
going?
See him going like
where else is he going?
I'd say like an Everton or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
Brentford.
an Everton.
They might
So
win the
what, you
Europa.
Everton.
You can see
Everton,
Everton, but
yeah.
you can't see
Everton.
Brentford.
I'll
To
say
Brentford.
Everton.
We're talking about statue club.
Bro, you can't go to Brentford. Roma could win the Europa League, and you're going to Brentford after.
Bro, I can't believe it. What's happening? What I'm hearing. Okay,
No,
sorry.
but
Give me the case.
You said
I'm
you did.
Tammy, yeah?
Yeah.
You're my agent. Oh, yeah, let's go.
Sell it.
No, it's not okay.
Sell it.
But let's say that.
Thomas Frank's
let's
there.
say he has to leave
That's
Roma
the
at the end of the
Thomas Frank.
season,
Yes,
right?
yes.
What clubs are saying, I want Tammy?
Palace.
Liverpool.
Palace, Palace, Everton.
I think that's as bad.
So
as
hold on. So
Okay,
what's
but-
the difference between Palace
I
and
think that's-
Brentford?
No.
No,
I'm not saying any. I'm just saying
Question.
what. Remember, I asked the question. What
Brighton.
teams are going to take him?
Well,
I don't
I
feel
said Brentford, bro.
Brighton.
Palace.
You lot are-
Those kind of teams. Like,
But they're all in the same realm
Palace
for me.
and Brentford are
No,
those
no.
kind of
I think
teams.
if you say
no, I'm
Villa,
not saying. I'm just saying.
Brighton,
Why would he want to?
Brentford, Palace,
Yeah.
they're all the same
What
level.
about
Same team.
Tottenham?
Nah.
No.
Tottenham to replace
Yeah, of
Harry.
course we go Tottenham.
Nah.
So you want to replace
No, you're a mischievous guy. No, you're a
replace-
mischievous guy.
goal and assist 45 goals with Tammy Abraham.
Hey, Tottenham will get relegated.
Wait. Just on that strand, let's be clear. No matter what they do, there's going to be a mad drop-off.
Yeah.
Replacing Harry.
I know that.
So they need to be prepared for someone else.
Tammy drop-off is
They just need to be prepared.
It's a lemming drop-off.
Because Levy's not going to spend the money, right? He's not going to spend the money. So whoever comes in is going to be a 20-year goal man, and it might be better for them, etc.
Yeah.
But Abraham, he needs to leave Roma when he has another season like he did last year.
It's not happening.
Because
he's not having another season.
Wait. So do you think Levy's dropped the ball then? He should have taken the 150 mil and then just bought an absolute madman.
100%.
Could have bought. Well, I'm not saying who he could have bought, but 150 million could have bought anyone, innit?
If what Tottenham should be doing is moving hell and high water to get Osimhen. That's what they should be doing.
Osimhen will be dumb to go.
But if they won't be in the Champions League, then it's gone.
He ain't going.
Okay, so
West Ham is another good shot for Abraham.
But I don't get you lot say. But when we said Brentford,
exactly, you
we were ridiculed.
All right. Let me give you context. You know what it is.
West Ham's more attractive than Brentford.
They've got Europa.
Okay, let's say that they don't win the UEFA Conference. Why would you go West Ham?
I still would want to go West Ham than Brentford.
Why?
Well,
so
why? I think
better club.
One plays in the 20-seater, one plays in the 70-seater.
Over the last 2 seasons, you're saying you're
2 seasons though. That's what I was just coming to. It's just 2 seasons. I know. Wait, but no. But you two have a fair point. You two have a fair point though, because what we're displaying now is we hold certain clubs in a certain place because of who they are, where they are. I'm not gonna lie though. If you say to me, John, over the next 5 years, who are you backing? Who are you betting to actually just maintain in the Prem and get back to a certain level? I would say West Ham, only because they've been there, they've done it for longer. However, recent history does say Brentford, they're going in with things, but
they don't. All right,
if it went wrong,
they don't have the economic
down.
ability to maintain that or to progress unless
and it's only been 2 years.
Unless they're going to get serious backing, or they're going to sell Toney for a madness, or they get another player that comes through and they sell them for a madness, which then starts depleting the squad.
Yeah.
If it goes a little bit wrong, Brentford could go down next season.
Any of the teams
that could happen with anyone.
Any of the teams we're talking about, they're all down there as well right now.
The team, bar like
Villa. What's going wrong for West Ham? They're not going to get relegated.
1 season, but
they're not going to get relegated.
Over a period of time, it's more likely for Brentford to suffer that fate than West Ham. Yeah. That's my point.
So throwing the question out there, right here, right now.
Yeah.
You know you can sign for a Premiership club next season. It's not going to be.
And I'm Tammy Abraham, right? That's important though. Not me.
I'm saying you, like everyone in the room. It's not going to be Liverpool.
But I think he's getting at. He wants to know what sort of quality player you are. Are you?
Because you can't go to one of the big 6.
Because even Tammy
where do you go?
Could he go to a top 6 and be second striker? As in, he wouldn't be the first.
Go Brighton.
I said that.
He said Brighton.
Yeah. We didn't hear
you. I didn't hear
because
that.
then he would actually score.
But then when I said Tottenham, does he have to be first choice at Tottenham? Why can't he be the second?
I'm about to say,
why can't he be the second striker at Tottenham?
Nearly. The whole point was he comes back to England to try to get in the England squad. There's no point in going Tottenham if Kane's still there and being second.
To be a second striker, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, but Son has proved that if you're at Tottenham with Kane, you can still score 20, 25 goals a season. Son has proved that.
No, but
Tammy's down the middle. He's not playing on the left.
Yeah, Tammy's not playing on the left of Kane.
Yeah, I think he's in a slightly tricky spot.
He needs to go Brentford.
I don't know why.
I don't think.
I don't even think.
He said he needs to go Brentford.
It don't make no sense.
Okay,
what about Chelsea? They ain't got a striker.
No, forget that.
No, he's not getting back.
They ain't got a striker.
Forget about where they are. Everton.
Yeah.
That's a decent shout for him.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't.
If they stay in this league.
But they've been consistently down the bottom for the last 2-3 seasons.
That's why they need Tammy. They need him.
They got Calvert Lewin. They got Calvert Lewin, man. You didn't mention him in the England strikers.
You lot are gonna think this is disrespectful, yeah. And I don't mean it's disrespectful at all, yeah. But Tammy's not that much better than my Dinky Welbz, bro. He's not that much better than Dinky Welbz, man. He's not that much better than Dinky Welbz. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Look, what's gonna happen on Sunday? Tammy's gonna slap a hat trick.
I'll be honest. I'm on record. I'm not the biggest Tammy Abraham fan. When he was, everyone was talking about him coming to Arsenal. I was saying we need to aim higher, etc., etc. However, you got to respect his career. He did all right at Chelsea, right? Decent player, but he did all right at Chelsea. He's gone to Roma. Yes, he's had a bit of a blip this season. In recent times, he's got back in. Man, if he leaves Roma and goes to Brentford, Bro, that's a coup for Brentford. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think it's a style of play issue with Rowe? Obviously, I don't want to delve too deep, but it kind of coincides with them bringing in the baller.
No, because apparently them two are playing well. So
really,
listen.
But even if they're playing well, it could be a service issue in terms of when it was just him. They played a certain way. He's benefited. The baller's come in, who's an attacking force, who's a very quite a capable player, and probably. It's like this whole basketball analogy of like when Luka Doncic was there, just him, and he had the ball in his hand 95% of the time. Now Kyrie Irving turns up. Now that your possession time reduces, to compare that to Roma.
You want my honest answer?
The baller comes in, and now the style of play slightly changes, and you suffer.
I think Tammy's just showing his level, bro.
Really?
Over a period of time, he had a good season. I think the stats were back. I think league-wise, he's a 12 to 15 goal a season man, bro.
A lot of Premiership teams need that.
True, but if you're him, I've played at Chelsea. I've now played at Roma. They're odds on to qualify for the Champions League, right? They're in a good spot. Why am I leaving there to go to Brentford, bro? Why am I leaving there to go to someone that's
what
not
if they
in
don't
Europe?
want him? What if they don't want him?
Who Roma?
Yeah.
No, that's fair. But if I could be playing Champions League next season at Roma, unless they categorically tell me get out, I'm not leaving there to not go to Brentford. At least in Europa League.
You're definitely not leaving. You're definitely not leaving.
He has to come back to the Prem, in my opinion. You're going to go back to the Prem to basically reset and show the world, or at least English fans, what you can do, right?
Yeah.
Going to Brentford ain't a bad shout, bro.
You should go to Villa.
Now, do you know what? I wouldn't
that's
even
not a
come
bad shout
back.
either.
If I'm trying to get back into the England squad, it's pointless, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not coming back to the Prem to play at Brentford to try
Where you going
to try and
You
get
have
back
one
into
team,
the England
you
squad.
have one
I'll
team.
rather
You
just
write it off.
stay where I am.
I agree.
Right off.
Well, to get back in the English squad.
I'll just say forget it.
No,
Yeah.
but what if you have to leave though? So to your point,
Have to
Mourinho
leave.
says you're not in my plan. You know the football talk. You're not in my plans.
Yeah.
Well, then
pick one.
you have to humble yourself then, innit?
Okay,
So
but
where
you
do you
could.
You
Well,
asked the question.
I said Brighton.
Right.
Brighton, yeah, that's not a
I
bad
don't
shout.
think they want him or need him.
Yeah,
Nah,
Brighton.
they
They
need
got-
no. Yes,
they
they
do.
do.
They
They need
got
a striker.
Ferguson. They got Ferguson.
Is he
and
better than
Under.
Welbeck?
That's what I just said. He's not,
Abraham,
is he that much better than
Yeah,
Welbeck?
similar.
Is he really that much better than Welbeck?
He's scoring more goals than Welbeck. Allow it. He's
No, I'm saying they
scoring.
got-
Nah,
That's not like that, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
listen,
a bad
Tammy
shout.
Abraham, if
No,
you're
but
listening,
there's
I'll
other things that
DM you the
Welbeck-
studio. Like, come and do with Mark because he's mucking the thing.
Bruv, I'll DM Dinky Welbz the same address, blood.
Bruv, I said I respect him, but come on, numbers is numbers. It can't.
Nah, bro.
So you don't think that Tammy Abraham will over the? Well, we've got the numbers. He will score more goals than Danny Welbeck, bro. We've seen it.
Brighton are too good for him. They won't a player like that.
No, he works
They won't
hard,
do
but
that.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's not a bad show.
Yo, can we talk about Brighton though?
Yeah,
What
the Zerbi. Oh, we didn't put the Zerbi in the manager of the year. He's got
That's
to be
the
in that
point,
list.
actually.
Yeah,
He's on the
gotta
list,
be-
bro.
Let me change mine. I'm shoving Eddie Howe down and putting.
Yeah.
No, he's in the contender. He's
Wait,
a
where did he
contender.
get the job?
No, he's part of
When did he
the
get the job?
extra
When
list.
Potter left. Well, yeah, when Potter left. So
Yeah.
that was September. Yeah,
Yeah.
week after transfer window.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Honourable mentions for Unai Emery and Zerbi. That's it. They don't enter the top
Yeah,
three.
I like that. I like the way you put that. Yeah, honourable.
But I just want to say on Saturday, they were mocked on Soccer Saturday, saying that they were throwing this game away in preparation for Man United
Yeah,
midweek by resting McAllister, Mitoma. I'm going to say someone else.
the lazy analysis that is Soccer Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah, but
No
I'm just
wonder
saying,
it's-
like, they were
it's
saying,
just
like,
being,
they were kind of throwing the game away, could have had bigger things. But
So based on the lineup.
yeah,
yeah.
because they
They rested
like,
three of their best
three-
players.
Was that for the
three-
Chelsea game? The Chelsea game?
No, they beat
No, they
Wolves
beat
6-0.
Wolves.
Oh,
Wolves.
the 6-0,
Yeah, they beat
okay.
Wolves. So yeah, it's
6-0.
saying like being able to rest two people that said integral players to their squad and first team and going out and steamroll. Like I watched the game, like they absolutely steamroll.
Yeah, it was
Like,
like
you normally get
Mad
Oh,
goal.
well,
That goal, that gross one. Yeah.
you normally get or the team really bad or
Yeah,
the team
yeah.
really good.
but
Brighton
Yeah, it was-
really, really good.
and the interesting thing is we had that whole top 4 chat, but Brighton have got 3 games in hand on Tottenham and Villa,
And they played Man United.
and they've got their 2 points. They got 2 points behind them.
Wait, they got 3 games and they're 2 points behind those teams.
Yeah.
Man.
Right, and then they've got 2 games in hand Liverpool, and they're only 4 points behind Liverpool. They're 11 points behind Manchester United. They've only got 1 game in hand. So, but I think they could come 5th if they carry on like this. They're in pole position to come 5th.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see them in Liverpool. Yeah.
Tammy,
I can see it.
they need him and Ketty or someone like that needs to go there and just stay in the box and score goals, bro.
Right. So
because
then
against Man United, that's what they didn't have.
okay, so then that opens up the same question about Newcastle as well. Like progression into.
If you're Newcastle, you take Tammy.
No.
No way.
No, you man.
No way.
Come on.
No.
Wait.
No.
No, thank you, though. No, thank you, Tammy. But
No way. You're no
no, thank you, Tammy.
Well, no, I've just seen his numbers. I was gonna say Wilson or Tammy, but I think Wilson.
Tammy only got eight goals. Man. It's not good enough.
Bro, that level is done now.
Yeah.
Like the Callum Wilsons and the Tammy Abrahams, they need to
but
be
Callum Wilson, you
looking.
can't even talk to Callum. Callum Wilson's got 15 goals in 26
And
games
that-
this season.
And that's good, but they need more.
Yeah, I agree.
goals.
Yeah, I agree.
He
I
gets
agree.
goals.
Doing that with
I
Champions
agree.
League on the
Wilson
plate
gets
as well.
goals.
Is 15
probably
goals
not.
the marker for a top striker? Because like we say, not many people get 20 plus. Like you've got to kind of be alien, like Kane, Salah.
Define top 4.
Haaland.
So if you want to be in the top 4 every season in the Prem,
Yeah, it's like.
I think you need to be closer to 20. You need to be edging towards 20.
All comps.
All comps or league.
League
No,
goals.
League
goals.
League goals,
League.
that ain't happening.
We don't.
Nah,
do
to
that.
be fair,
League
not
goals.
many people
That
get
ain't
over
happening,
20
bro.
league goals.
No,
in the season.
I said going to you got
Okay.
you got 15.
15 to
Come on,
20,
man.
you're saying?
Yeah,
I think you're happy with 15, to be honest. That's,
I mean,
that's
if we
just
look at-
under 1 in 2, innit?
even
No,
if I look at
no,
So
no,
where,
no,
as long as I'm happy
I'm
with
with
15,
John. I'm with John. You need 17, 18.
I'm happy with
15 is the minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
minimum.
15 to me.
Yeah.
I'm happy with 15 if we're getting goals from everywhere else.
Yeah.
But if we're not, and you're kind of the focal point, if
Yeah.
Kane's producing 15 goals a season,
I mean, look
That
at
doesn't-
where
You
we
got to
are.
be doing assists as well.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
that.
Our goal involvements as well.
Sure.
Because look
So
where we are.
25 GNA, yeah?
Something like that.
Well, so we're at this point in the
I've
season. We've
got a
got 7
great question.
players who are 15 goals in the league or above. 7 players. And then the drop off isn't that high. Ollie Watkins is the 8th on 14, Saka on 13. I think if you're gonna
Is it
be
just Kane and Haaland in 20s?
and Toney got 20.
Oh, Tony got 12.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Salah's got 17, Rashford has got 16. Like, I think if I'm a top 4 team, you really want someone who's gonna do like his meaty season. He's gonna be 15 goals. If they play 30 plus games,
So like
you want a 1 in 2 striker. You want a 1 in 2 striker, right? And then you've got like the thing with Brighton. That's why I said it's like a Tammy and Ketters. That game against Man United, their FA Cup game. What you saw there was if their midfielders aren't on job,
striking is
Yeah, striking.
then their ability to penetrate and to score just goes down. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some really guilt-edged moments, that Matoma bit at the end. He toe punts that in, it's a goal. We're not having this conversation. But you could just see the reliance on the midfield talent, like the wide forwards to score. You bring someone in that's going to score, 17, 18 goals a season, and it's not on top. There might be chances that other people take, but it's a different dynamic for them. Totally different dynamic.
okay, so fun kind of topic question.
Yeah.
Based on goals and strikers, kind of just to round us off or whatnot. But if you're building a team, right, and your final piece is your striker, are you picking Haaland or Thierry Henry?
If you're building a team and your final piece is a striker, depends on what the.
So Haaland's a gold machine, 34 goals in the season. Thierry Henry's got 20 goals, 20 assists.
So it's interesting you say this
Well-
because Henry said that Haaland needs to adapt his game to be more accommodating to the players around him.
Mm.
And I think in the last 2 months,
Yes, he done
he
that.
done it.
It's like he listened to what Henry was saying on that CBS Galazzo. I was like, I'm going to do that. And he started doing it.
So
Where are we starting?
I'm going to say something
you're
blasphemous.
saying Haaland.
I'm going to say something blasphemous. At the end of this season, if he performs in finals, I'm taking Haaland.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
That's my only gripe with Henry.
Oh,
That
totally
he didn't
agree.
show up in the big games.
In club finals, yeah.
Not big
agreed.
games, the final.
Club
Which is a
finals.
big
There's a
game.
few big
No,
games
no,
he
no,
didn't
but
touch.
He played in more.
He didn't show up in big games, man. No chance. All right.
You
This
said
week
the
is
final.
me munching this.
You said the final like he only played in one.
No, but he said big games.
I
and then,
thought you would have.
Yeah. Finals,
tried
bro.
it.
We're going
Tried
to
it.
The final, the only one that counted. Are you talking about?
the Champions League
No,
final.
there was more than one.
No, there was more than one
More than
where
one. I
I
think
was
it's
like,
FA Cup, he
I think he played
yep,
4 or 5 finals for Arsenal. Didn't score 1 goal.
yeah.
It's mad.
So yeah, who
We're
you
going to see
picking?
who you picking.
Who am I picking?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a snake, innit?
Jeez. Pew, pew.
I go with my guy, man.
Thierry.
Everyone knows.
Okay.
Go with your
Big
objective,
T.
bro. We'll go on that.
Yeah, no, I'm going with Thierry as well.
Easily. Thierry.
Wow. And you said Haaland. You said Haaland.
I said, if he does the final, I'm getting Haaland. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah. Right now, today, now. Yeah.
Right now, today, now against Thierry Henry. Probably the best foreign import in the
I'm going
league.
Thierry.
Haaland, if Haaland continues what he's doing, he will get there. Like the way he played the last couple games,
Bro.
Haaland,
He's been playing
Haaland
very well. He's a
gets
goal
you
machine.
34.
But Henry is Henry.
Henry's
Oh, yeah,
got
yeah.
40
Yeah,
GA.
no. And the funny thing is, if you take away from numbers and just your team,
Just look at the game and
the
team
game,
at the-
then obviously, because Henry scored a lot of goals, but he scored a lot of different goals, quality goals. Haaland might get a season where he scores every goal in the. He might end up being the new Van Nistelrooy, which is not a bad thing. You know, he's not going to be slapping any. He's not going to be flicking up the ball and volleying it from the edge of the box.
No,
Monkey man. But for me, the biggest thing for me, Henry was the assist as well, man.
So you're saying Henry's a player that can create goals as well as put them away.
I don't know, just from a style, like almost a qualitative point of view, he will score lots of goals, and then the range of them will just be crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
whereas
And assists.
and then the assist as well. But the way this guy is going, and I know it's only been one season. We've got like 15 years of Henry's career, but yeah, the guy is not.
As also, Henry can grab the ball and take it to that goal.
Wait, but we
Game
could have.
different now,
We
though.
don't
Game
even.
different.
We didn't even have to involve Henry. You could have just said Haaland or Mbappe.
Ouch.
No.
Well, no,
Yeah,
because
that's,
not
yeah,
sure.
I think
I mean,
that's,
yeah.
I think that's
No, but that was a good question.
I think that's a good.
No, that was a good
That's
question.
good
But
comparison.
now,
All right. Well, go on.
Mbappe
Okay.
or
Okay.
Haaland,
Go on.
I think everyone would say. I think everyone here would say Mbappe.
100%.
1,000%.
For me.
See, it depends what you want.
1,000%.
If you want a pure goal scorer, I'm taking Haaland. If I want a footballer,
Keith.
I'm taking Mbappe.
He's
That's
still
a good-
banging
that's a good
goals.
question.
Mbappe is still
Did you-
banging
wait,
goals.
I think I'm
It
taking
doesn't
Haaland.
matter. You can't even. Yeah, his numbers are crazy, right? Like this season and everything. But Mbappe is banging
Yeah, I'm not
goals.
disputing
Because
that.
that's what I
If they
judge.
both was in the Premiership, I think they would be doing the same thing.
Because I judge on as a Keith. What you said there,
I think
judge
every
as a
single
footballer
week
as
there
well.
would just be them two. You would just see goals.
Go on, that's.
Because even Haaland, he's the best striker. He ain't the best footballer.
No, not at all.
Like, as in, for me, Kane is a better footballer than Haaland. Haaland's a better striker than Kane.
Yeah.
But if you ask me who's the better footballer, I'll say Kane's better.
Yeah.
So, all right, I agree.
But Mbappe or Haaland, though? Pick one.
Oh, Mbappe all day.
All right, does Haaland continue this scoring form in this Real Madrid team?
I think it'd be even worse.
The Real Madrid
I think he scores even more
I
goals.
think I think Haaland.
I think so.
Yes.
You put Haaland anywhere, banging goals.
No, not Tottenham. Put him
Nah.
Tottenham. You think he's banging goals? I don't think so.
Okay,
Nah,
when I
he's
say
not.
anywhere,
He's not.
I
He's
don't
not banging
think he
goals at
will.
Tottenham.
he could have
No.
played. I mean, he
He wouldn't
could
be
be
playing-
playing for top teams. Like I don't.
Mm.
When I'm whatever top team he goes to,
He's
he
banging
can
goals.
like you see people move and they struggle, etc.
What, Veliscus feed it. Oh, no.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
So you think he's doing another record-breaking season if he was in this current Real Madrid team?
I think I don't think he's gonna keep doing this, but he is gonna be him and Mbappe
The guys.
are gonna be the guys that if they don't score 30 league every year, like 25, basically in the Prem, it's gonna be him and Harry now that are doing
You don't-
and Mo just doing those numbers.
You don't think that the style, Pep style, lends to his?
I think
output.
I think when you buy a player of Mbappe's stature now, or Haaland's stature now, you will play a style that complements him. He's got to a level now where you don't bring him and say, all right, all that stuff he was doing before, you only do 70% of it now because you got, because it will cost you 150. If you get him out of Man City now, it's 150 mil or whatever it's going to be, some bombastic number,
Astronomical.
right? So you're not bringing him there to be like, oh, hold on, mate. So I think he goes to, I think Man City, the way they're playing now is Real Madrid realm anyway, right? But he goes to those teams with generational talents. It's not slowing down. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke. And then Mbappe as well. Mbappe's not even playing in one of those teams. Let's be honest. That PSG team has got lots of individuals, but it's not a fully functioning team. We've not seen final form Mbappe. When Mbappe plays in a Man City or Real or something,
Yeah. It'll be
Bro.
good.
it's curtains.
that's the only critical thing I have against Mbappe is that, well, I can't even say critical. They're giving him all the money in the world to stay there, but I want to see him somewhere. You get me?
I agree.
And he's I would love to see him at the Prem.
Yeah, and he's starting to do some of that. I don't want to say diva, but I've watched a few games now, and you know they've lost a few games. They lost on the weekend again.
Yeah.
He's not galvanizing the team. So you're the big star. It's you and Messi. It's not like
you know. Think they're giving him that kind of mantle too early? Like he's still only
definitely 100%.
23, 24.
I agree.
And it's like, right, you're Mbappe. You're the poster boy of French football. You should be able to lead everyone. I'm like,
no.
For one, he might not want that tag.
I mean,
and two,
he leads when he plays for France. He does his thing.
I was just about to say that. I mean,
but that PSG ain't. I guarantee you, even though he's French, you don't look at PSG like they're that team. Like, you don't have to do anything.
But even some of the stuff he's coming out.
I don't have to do He turns up for France.
Yeah.
He's the man.
You reckon if he was in Real Madrid,
he would turn up. He would be like, yeah, Champions League every year. We're doing that.
So quickly on this one, what do you think? So my slight criticism of him is, and some might argue, well, Messi's there, but when I think about, if you go back to people like Maradona, etc., when they've gone to a team where everyone else is average, Maradona didn't pick up the ball from the goalkeeper every week and win Napoli that title. He had to galvanize the team. So it was actually, okay, Mbappe, yes, you're right. They haven't got certain players, but on paper, it's not a dead team. Hakimi, people galvanize the team. Sometimes I watch their games, I watch highlights, and it's, they're tracking back. Just the team play isn't there. So my only criticism of him is, you're going to be the big guy. You're going to be the leader. You signed this contract now. So let someone...
He's young though as well. He's young, man.
You're going to be there for another 2 years. He needs to mature a little bit.
I think it's a bit hard for him though, because they're other superstars. It's hard to galvanize other superstars because they're not looking at him, oh my God, he's Mbappe. They're seeing they're as good as him. They're on the same level.
That's fine, but you chose to stay. You took the money and you took this new, like, what they call it. It's not written, but role within the club. That's the other side of it, bro.
To Daz's point, right? Those two superstars are tried and tested, proven, right? We're the big dog. In their eyes, we're the big dogs.
There's three of them. You remember stop it. Neymar, you're not forgetting Neymar.
I don't. No, but that's what I'm talking about. Neymar and Messi. Yeah, they're the two big dogs, right? Well, Ramos as well. But let's be honest, Neymar and Messi are the two big dogs in that room. We've done what we've done. We've
done the Champions League.
I don't care what they're paying you.
Even Ramos, you can't chat to me when it comes to club.
This is it. I don't care what they're paying you. We're us, innit?
Yeah.
So you can do what you're doing, but we're us.
The other man, then. But exactly.
But when it's us, so that's why you probably see all the clicks. Because at one point they were saying under Poch, it was very clicky. You had Messi and the Argentinians, the Latinos, and then you had Neymar, and then
even
you had
Poch,
the French boys,
even Poch. No, but even Poch. Mbappe, like, who are you? You come from Tottenham or something? Man.
I think this whole thing of he needs his own team to then be able to galvanize, because you brought up Maradona. Maradona was the big name in that room.
No, I agree.
No one could talk.
No, but if you look at the team that plays now, you go through it. You got Hakimi. Ramos doesn't really play. Then you've got Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe up front. If you look for the rest of the team, so that's what needs.
But if he goes to a Real Madrid or a Man City, he's still not going to be the only guy.
I agree, and that's what I want to see.
I think he will be better. Yeah, I think that he'll be better in a situation like that. Yeah,
sharpening.
I think it's, if you move to another team and then walk into that locker room, you can't just walk in unless it's like a smaller team with no stars where you're expected to walk in and take charge or be the presence. You can't walk in that change room. You gotta walk in there humble and then build your way into that leadership group. So to your point, to Real Madrid, he walks in, he's humble, he has to prove himself on the pitch first. Then they welcome him into the pack. Then he can show off. But
all right, let me just quickly bring it back because we haven't talked about the quick musical chairs at the bottom. Whilst we've been talking, Leicester and Everton have drawn 2-2. Which doesn't help either of them.
Oh, it finished 2-2.
In any way, shape, or form.
Wow.
Madison missed a penalty when it was 2-1 to Leicester as well.
Cool, blimey. So now we've got a situation where Southampton are rock bottom. I say this every episode, but I'm surprised they're not mathematically relegated yet. It's crazy. They've lost 22 games. Mad.
You're keeping them up, bruv. That's why.
Huh?
You keep saying it. You're keeping them up.
And it's true. It's true.
Arsenal.
Yeah, you're not getting relegated.
Arsenal keeping them up.
Yeah, exactly.
They lost 22 games, but none to Arsenal.
So if we look at it now, all the teams 16th to the bottom have played 34 games now. So they've all got 4 games to go, right?
12 points.
I'll do it from the bottom up. Southampton, 24 points. They're gone. Everton, 29 points. Nottingham Forest, 30 points. Leeds, 30 points. Leicester, 30 points.
Oh, if Everton go, that's mad.
Right?
No, it's not.
Then it's West Ham. 34 points. I'm taking them out of this. I think this is getting down to the final day or close to it.
Hopefully. It'll mind a good.
Final day for every team or final day for just...
I think it's final day for
Southampton as well,
16th to 19th. So for Everton, Forest, Leeds and Leicester, I think it's going to the final day. All on the same games. And Everton are the only 1 point behind.
Did any of them play each other on the last day?
So it's 2 from 4. That's what we're saying at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it is. I think 2 from 4 and Everton have got the slightest advantage. That 1 point is going to be...
Do we know if any of them are playing each other on the last day?
Yeah. So they've played together today, but let me have a quick scan of who's played.
I was looking back at our predictions that we done.
Yeah, I put West Ham in there. That's mad.
So we'd have to bring that back up.
Southampton and Leeds.
West Ham, I said all of that. West Ham have got City next. So they might get back into it. West Ham. So Leicester have drawn today. Excuse me. Bournemouth have got Chelsea next.
Probably beat them,
yeah. You know. Leeds have got City. Sorry, I should laugh. Leeds have got City on Saturday.
West Ham, Leeds.
West Ham City on Wednesday. Leeds City on Saturday. Who else is down there?
Leeds have beaten City before.
City are playing all the bottom teams.
And then West Ham have got Man United on Sunday. And then if we move ahead,
the hope that kills.
Leeds, Newcastle. I think a lot of the teams have played against each other because I'm looking through. Everton have got Brighton. Leeds have got Newcastle. I think some of the
21st of May, West Ham have Leeds, which is a big 6-pointer.
Yeah.
Last day of the season, Leicester have West Ham, which is another big 6-pointer. I don't think outside of that, I can't see any other fixtures where they're coming up against each other. It's
Everton, Bournemouth on the 28th of May, Sunday. I mean, by then, Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth are safe.
clear.
No, I think Bournemouth are safe.
Yeah, I think
So Everton are fine for their lives. Leeds have got Tottenham last day. Leicester, West Ham last day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those 2 fixtures are the big ones. Biggies left.
I think Everton are gone. I think it's
Not yet.
Nah, I don't.
No,
not yet.
But the performances, etc. I think that 1 point is going to make a big difference. And then Leicester, Leeds, Forest. Yeah.
How many points do you think they're going to need to stay up?
It's going to be hard, bro. Might have been looking at 20.
Because it used to be 40.
Yeah, it's less than 40 now.
I think 36.
Yeah,
I think 36
Yeah,
keeps you up.
so 2 wins from 4.
Yeah.
Anyone gets 2 out of 4 wins.
Yeah. I think that's what keeps
36
you
is
up.
I think that's the magical number this
And
year.
the problem is because there aren't many games of them playing each other, we might end up in a goal difference situation. If people end up...
Who's looking worst off at the goal difference at the moment? Is it Leeds?
No, Forest.
No, Forest.
far.
Not Leeds.
It's a shame
How much goals
because
have they shot?
Forest are actually playing quite well. They just can't get the results.
Forest goal difference is 6 worse than Leeds.
They spent so much
In
money
fact,
as well,
out of
bro.
all of them, Leicester's got the best goal difference. So
Leeds
yeah.
have got to take some
Real talk though,
points.
yeah. I know Isaac obviously doesn't rate Everton for obvious reasons, but that's a massive team going down, you know?
No,
One of the
huge.
few teams that have not been relegated from the Prem.
Yeah, and the other one being?
Yeah, or top flight in general for
The other one
however
being?
long.
Liverpool,
Everyone?
Arsenal.
Oh,
Arsenal, Everton.
Just-
Liverpool, Arsenal, Everton. Aston
Liverpool?
Villa. Liverpool never been relegated from the Prem.
from the Prem.
Prem,
Oh, for
yeah.
the Prem.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll give you that.
I
I'll give
thought
you
meant
that.
top flight.
You just had to shoehorn Prem in there, innit?
Yeah.
If we talk about top flight,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Arsenal and
I think
Everton.
there's 7 teams that have never been relegated from the Prem.
So
No,
if
I
we-
was about to say Newcastle, but they went down. It's Liverpool, Everton, Aston Villa, Spurs,
Man United.
Man United.
So let's
And,
from Prem it's a long list. I mean, shouldn't get too hung up on that because one of the reasons why we haven't been relegated
Chelsea.
in the beginning we fought our way into the top flight.
Yeah.
So anyway, looking ahead, Leicester Everton have played today. Arsenal Chelsea tomorrow. You man, please.
You know what? That's kind of made for Bamiyang to
No, it's not.
come back and haunt.
It's not.
I won't be surprised. No, I would be because Frank's
Bruv, if something happens tomorrow, yeah.
No, seriously, it's real
Bruv,
talk, bro.
if they get a point, I'm coming. Like,
Bruv, I'm-
lighting
and
up.
I'm gonna be
I'll
with
be
this
with- I'll be
joker
with you.
tomorrow as well. You know, I'm gonna be with this joker tomorrow as
I'll
well.
be with you. If they
And you know
get a
what?
point, I'm
We'll go on
good.
Wednesday. We're not doing that
Fuming.
tomorrow. Then we've got Liverpool Fulham on Wednesday. City West Ham. West Ham are not doing anything for us. No disrespect, but they're not doing anything for us. Brighton, Man United on Thursday. Listen,
I think that's a good
FA
game.
Cup revenge
That's a good game.
coming.
Is that at Brighton?
Yeah. And I think that's why he rested them on the weekend. You know,
Sweet rest,
Predictions.
Trust
whole
me.
week.
If they can win that,
Brighton,
that game.
Brighton, Man United.
Brighton, Man United.
I'm getting a Brighton win.
Brighton at home.
Yeah. I want to score.
3-1, Brighton.
Wow.
You don't rate Lindelof on them, man.
I suppose they have to win that unless if they want the top four.
It's true.
If they don't win that, the top four is over for them.
Then Saturday we got Bournemouth, Chelsea. Bournemouth at home. He's got anyway. Let me not even. Manchester City Leeds again. I expect City to blow them away, but Leeds need.
That's a 6.
They
That's
need
got 6
points.
written all over
It's
it.
getting perilous. Spurs at home to Palace.
Sinister around them.
It's a good game.
That'll be a draw.
Yeah, I think that'll be a score draw. Wolves, Villa, Wolves at home. And then Liverpool, Brentford. At Anfield, the Fortress.
That's a decent game as well.
Very, very decent game. And then Sunday, Newcastle, Arsenal's 4:30 kickoff.
Damn.
I'm looking forward to that.
And then West Ham, Man United. Again, so it's getting to that point of the season where the World Cup compression is now starting to really kick in, right?
Yeah.
Because we had games almost every day last week apart from Friday. Same again this week. It's getting a bit crazy. Actually getting a bit crazy. Then a couple of other bits to touch on. Mr. Souness is leaving Sky. It's about time, if you ask me. Personally, I think that
The old guard, innit? Like,
Yeah.
Sky have been trying to freshen it up over the last
come on, man.
2-3 years, I think.
Yeah, there's only so many times a guy can talk about hard work and this and that, and we've heard it every week. It's this, it's that, and that. Any thoughts? Do you think? Listen, I'm a harsh Souness critic, so let's take me out of the equation. Where would you rank him? Talking to Mike.
Rookie mistake. I don't necessarily think. Just quickly, I know the question was where do we rank him, but I don't think this is a case of Sky pushing him out. I just think he's probably.
No, I agree. Yeah,
because I think he boosts ratings. The
Yeah,
fact
does.
that
Yeah.
his controversial statements dedefinitely help to bring engagement and viewership.
Do you think
in terms of ranking him?
Well, maybe not just a rank, but where you rate him in the punditry field? Because just to
I
your
don't
point,
rate him at all.
Yeah, okay. And just to your point, do you think it's a thing of controversial, or the fact that he kind of harks back to a time that a lot of Sky view, a lot of viewers still identify with, right?
He was even doing
it's a
it
man's game and all that stuff.
Like, even yesterday, they're talking about getting a manager in for Tottenham, and he was like, "Oh, it's got to be English. Oh, sorry, British. Got to be English or British." And he had no basis of why he was saying it. He was just like, I was sitting there thinking, this guy, like, if you could say something and back it up, fair enough. But he was like, "Oh, they tried foreign. It's got to be British or English." I was like, okay.
And the thing is, he has got a reason, but he just doesn't want to share it on camera.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
And what it is now, the audience is more educated.
Yeah, exactly.
So they want analytical view. They want to know. You got to put some substance behind what you're saying. You can't just say something for the sake of it. And then so I think it's good.
And I've always been baffled as to why he lasted so long. Because he was a great player and he won stuff. But we're going on for almost 30 years since he won all that stuff. The time he played him was different. Even the time he managed him. When was the last time he managed? 12 years ago? 14 years ago?
But the British love history, innit?
Yeah, it's just crazy. Because even Neville and Co and all these people, at least there's some recency to some of this stuff. And even then, now, actually, we're getting more recent people, the Jermaine Genius, all these people that are coming in. I think the next round of pundits, they need to refresh it quicker.
I think they just love it.
To be fair,
they love it.
Daniel Sturridge done pretty well the couple times he's been on
I think
Sky.
he's good. I think Daniel Sturridge is good. What other news do we have?
You mention Jeff leaving as well.
Yes,
Jeff
Mr. Stelling.
Yeah, he's leaving Sky Sports.
He tried to get out last summer, innit? But they held on to him.
I think they threw a bag at him, innit? They threw a bag of money.
He said in the interview. He said in the interview, so listen, I got children to support, so I'm here in it to
It's
work.
going to be a big miss.
And to be fair, like,
I'm not gonna miss it.
who watches Soccer Saturday anymore?
Nah.
You still watch it?
Yeah, I watch it.
I know why, but I'm not going to say on mic. I know why you still watch it, but I'm not going to say on mic.
So do I.
I know exactly why you watch it, but I'm not going to say on mic.
I don't know it's not going to be around next season, but I think the BT score show has been better than Soccer Saturday of the season.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's been better.
The BT one.
I know why you don't like
Robbie Savage and
yeah.
I don't like.
I know why you don't like it.
I ain't watching Robbie Savage.
I know why you don't like it, but I prefer it to that.
Yeah, I like the BBC one. To be fair,
BBC one's not bad. Yeah,
BBC.
It's not bad. All right, cool. And then kind of
He was dry.
related, Mr. Jody Morris went out on his own. Was down at Swindon in League Two, and that hasn't gone to plan. Either he's left his role today, joined in January.
I mean, Lampard dropped him out.
So he dropped him out? Oh, no, he was already in his job when he took the job.
Obviously he was his number 2.
Yeah.
Remember? And then they went to Chelsea the first time, it didn't work. And then
he wasn't at Everton.
Was it? No, was it? Yeah, he wasn't at Everton. So we've dropped him out out of his coaching stuff. Whether Jody's decided to part ways or Lamps has said, look, it's not working. Jody's gone out on his own. He's lasted 18 games. Lamps is clearly not good enough. Maybe the two of them together just...
Mate, I mean, he had 18 matches. Level. He won 4, drew 4 and lost 10.
Yeah. And they were in playoff position when he took over.
Yeah. And I think they won the last 2 and drew. And the club was still like, listen, out. So yeah. All right. I think that's it for this week. It's nice to have a full crew in house. And again, please subscribe, follow, and we'll be back next week for more Arsenal stress and relegation musical chairs.
Come on, man.
Thanks, boys. That's what.
Let's do it.
Love.